What's up guys, this is your favorite fanfic YouTuber, the Fanfic Majesty. Join my Discord if you want to chat and share your thoughts, the link is in the description. 17BR Chapter 706 Pains Yuzin. Amino's tears. As the three of Shiyu walked in, everyone was smiling. Especially those genin who just graduated from Konohamaru, they shout the most. The enemy died and Konoha was rescued. For this greatest hero, they naturally worshipped incomparably. In order to allow Nagato to better investigate the truth, Shiyu agreed with them to announce that he was persuaded to cast the Wheel of Revolving Heaven and died. In this way, both Nagato can be hidden for investigation, and Shiyu can have Rinnegan without being exposed. Therefore, Jiraiya and Naruto did not vomit this incident either. Although they didn't spit it out, one person had guessed that there must be something hidden in it. He is Kakashi. The reason why he knew there was something hidden in it was because he sensed that Nagato was not dead. 26 If it was before, Kakashi did not have this ability. But now he has understood Sage Mode, and the chakra fluctuations around a certain range are not inferior to his feelings. Naturally, he wouldn't expose it in person. Since Shiyu and the others had chosen so many, they naturally made sense. Seeing this scene, if it is who has the deepest feelings, that is undoubtedly Amino Iruka. At this moment, he looked at Naruto, who was lifted high by the crowd, and the tears that filled his eyes had already fallen, and he was crying with joy. This scene once reminded him of what third Hokage said to him. Advertisement. Iruka, it's not that I don't understand your feelings, but Naruto lacks family affection like you, or he lacks more than you. Because his parents died when he was born. Furthermore, his parents were willing to let their children, and Naruto, also bear the same in order to prevent other people's children from becoming Jinchuriki, which was a painful choice. If it were you, what would you do? As Naruto grew up, he understood a little bit. In order to make those who deliberately alienate him from paying attention to himself, he deliberately made some pranks. His purpose is very simple. It is to hope that others can recognize the value of his existence, not just use him as a weapon to protect the village. Today Naruto finally did it, and he was sincerely gratified. If anyone is in a bad mood at this moment, it is probably only the one who is hiding in the dark. Although he didn't see Nagato killed in action, he saw Xiaonan leave with two bodies wrapped in white paper. Coupled with the words of Shiyu and others, he naturally believed this message. What made him most sure that this news was true was the resurrection of the Konoha people, because this technique must be the revolving heaven technique. I didn't expect Pain to be defeated. I have to tell Obito about this. The voice fell, and it disappeared directly into the trees. At the same time, an Anbu appeared behind Nara Shikajiu and reported. Master Lu Ju. The village leaders are going to hold a meeting. Please go to the main hall immediately as the squad leader Jonin. So fast. Advertisement Nara Luji murmured softly, apparently already aware of this. Watching Naruto and his party enter the village with joy and laughter, Nara Luji also followed Anbu quietly. As for Ju, he has already arrived at his secret base. At this time, besides Obito, there is one more person here, and he is Kisame. After Obito unveiled the mask to let him know his identity, he resolutely decided to help Obito realize Project Tasuki no Mi, 010. Ju will inform Obito of the situation in Konoha, and then seek Obito's opinion. That's it, what should I do now? By the way, Xiao Nan probably won't be back. That's it. Obito responded and murmured. Nagato is dead, but Geto's statue still needs someone to control it. At this point, Obito had a decision in his mind. Kisame, you go to Eight Tails, I'm going to deal with other things. Originally, when Obito was going to hunt Eight Tails with Kisame, after all, the ab combination of Raikage and Killer Bee is not vegetarian. But now the situation has changed, and he has more important things to do. That is to get Rinnegan. If there is no Rinnegan to manipulate the Geto statue, then their so-called plan cannot be implemented at all. Chapter 707 Senii Team, Casting Stones and Cracking the Village. When Konoha and Akatsuki were busy handling the aftermath, Sasuke also led the team towards Konoha. The reason is simple, Danzo must die. At this moment, Konoha is not one of them, and the other team is the Cold Team from Cloud Shinobi Village, Thunder Country. The members are Samui, Amii and Karui, they are Masters and Killer Bee. Originally they belonged to the Killer Bee team. Because Killer Bee is Jinchuriki's special reason, and because Akatsuki has been organizing the hunting of tail beasts, they had to protect Killer Bee. Therefore, the three of them acted alone, however, they were almost reaching Konoha. At this moment, Amoy sighed tangledly. Oh, what should I do? 010. What are you doing? Karui replied. Nola, there seems to be a lot of cute girls in Konoha Shinobi Village. I'm thinking if you confess to me, what should I do? There is no doubt that this Amoy is definitely a narcissist, the kind of stone hammer. Hearing this, Karui narrowed his mouth and said in a low voice. Right. Then associate with them, as soon as they come. Advertisement The reason she did this was not because she liked Amoy, but because the road was really boring for fun, nothing more. But have you ever thought, if I leave Konoha Shinobi Village, how sad those girls will be? Especially, CGDE. Those who love me and want to stop, don't they want to be separated from me? Then I'm afraid I really don't know what to do. This kind of thing can be tolerated, what if someone wants to die for me? Hearing Omoy's words, Karui couldn't help it, after all, she was also a young girl full of youth. Do you find it happy or disgusting? None of us have arrived at Konoha Shinobi Village. It's disgusting that you are in the mood to think about this kind of thing. However, Omoe's next sentence directly made Karui unbearable. But maybe there are handsome boys who confess to you. Just say it's handsome, then it's over. Karui stunned Omoe, and then said shyly. What you said is pretty good, maybe a tall, handsome and rich ninja really came to confess to me. You think too much, this kind of thing will never happen. Omoe never forgets to strike Karui, obviously, this is his habit of fighting each other with the latter. Hearing that, Karui was immediately unhappy, and saw that she bent down to pick up an egg-sized stone from the ground and threw it towards Omoe. You guy is not qualified to say me, naturally, an attack of this level could not hit Omoe, or Karui did not try his best. When the three of them walked to Hokage Rock, they found that Konoha was all over the place and the village was severely damaged. Advertisement. You can also use 2 words to describe him, funny. No way. Omoe didn't mean to do this, his character is like this, and he is fascinated by the so-called butterfly effect theory. But the next second, they were dumbfounded. Don't be silly, go down and see what's going on. Thank you for reading this story at fictionzone.net. Your support enables us to keep the site running. Why are you doing this? If that stone hits the rock will collapse, and then the collapsed rock will cause the larger rock to collapse, which will result in the most serious landslide. Idiot. After avoiding the stones, Omoe said angrily. You think too much. At this moment, Samui, who hadn't spoken since just now, finally spoke. Seeing this scene, Karui screamed out of voice. If this destroys the Konoha shinobi village at the foot of the mountain, that would be bad. At this moment, Karui really couldn't stand it and immediately shouted with a hijab. Karui, you forgot. Omoe did not forget to make up the knife. When they entered the village, the senior Konoha was discussing the construction of the village with the daimyo and ministers of the country of fire and matters related to Akatsuki's organization. I didn't mean it. I didn't expect that stone would actually cause such serious consequences. Chapter 708 Konoha Legend. Sannin 7 Colors. The Country of Fire, the Chamber of Discussion. As one of the top leaders of Konoha Shinobi Village, Mitokado Homura looked at the Fire Country daimyo, and said, the Akatsuki organization is too rampant now. Our village intends to continue to deal with Akatsuki with the allies. The village has suffered severe damage, and we will fully support the reconstruction of the village. Konoha Shinobi Village is closely related to the Country of Fire. Once Konoha is destroyed, it will not be far from the Country of Fire being annexed. Ninjas will always be the main fighting force in this world. Therefore, countries large and small will establish their own ninja villages, and the country will naturally support the development of the village. The strength of the ninja village means that the country can be stable. Just like the Country of Rain during World War II, Hanzo of the Salamander led the power of a village to attack the Country of Fire, the Country of Wind, and the Country of Iron at the same time, trying to expand their country's leaders. At that time, Hanzo of the Salamander was very strong, and because of this, the Kingdom of Rain won a partial victory in this battle, but the final result was defeat. The Land of Rain is relatively small and the population is sparsely populated, so naturally the number of their ninjas is limited. Without the crushing of absolute power, it is impossible to do one enemy 3 at all. I can only say that Hanzo is too greedy. This is also the reason why they did not participate in the Third Ninja War, and they even wanted to restore peace and stability to the Country of Rain. The purpose is simple, it is to recuperate. Advertisement. Even if the Country of Fire, the Country of Wind, and the Country of Soil use the Country of Rain as the battlefield, Hanzo of the Salamander also means to negotiate and reconcile. One of the most important reasons is that Rain Shinobi Village is weak. Konoha has Konoha Sannin. Although Jiraiya has traveled and Tsunade has left the village, it does not mean that they do not exist. Moreover, Orochimaru was still there at the time. In addition, Konoha was born a more amazing genius ninja. The first to bear the brunt is 4th Hokage Namikaze Minato, and Uchiha Fugaku, the contemporary leader of Uchiha. At that time, the position of Hokage at the time was to choose between Orochimaru and Uchiha Fugaku. But it is a pity that Fugaku is a member of the Uchiha clan, neither the 3rd Hokage nor the senior Konoha will let him be elected. As for Orochimaru, it is supported by many people. But the problem is that 3rd Hokage doesn't look good at him, because he thinks that Orochimaru seems to have changed a little bit later, making him a little unpredictable. He doesn't dare to pass the position easily for the offspring of this difficult master. Of course, this is also the reason for Jiraiya Hokage's position. However, if Konoha's White Fangya didn't commit suicide, this 4th Hokage would definitely fall on him. It is said that this person's strength is still higher than Konoha Sannin, and his reputation has made major ninja villages frightened. Otherwise, this 4th Hokage will not be Minato's turn, because it is he who recommended Minato to 3rd Hokage Sarutobi Hiruzen. When he sneaked into the enemy camp as the captain to perform secret missions, he was forced to make a dilemma, whether to perform the mission or save his companions. Advertisement later, after Orochimaru's experimental research was revealed, he who fled and became a traitor completely lost this opportunity, and the position of Hokage naturally fell into the hands of Minato. Of course, it is indispensable that Orochimaru and Danzo are behind the scenes. Their purpose is simple, they don't want Hitaki Tsukumo to be Hokage, but the reason is that they want to be husband. Konoha's White Fang is extremely famous among the 7 colors of Konoha. Thank you for reading this story at fictionzone.net. Your support enables us to keep the site running. Konoha's White Fang tooth named Hitaki Tsukumo, father of Kakashi. For this reason, 5th Hokage fell on Tsunade's shoulders. 0.0 in the end, even his rescued companions began to accuse him, Hitaki Tsukumo was hurt physically and mentally, and eventually committed suicide. In addition to Konoha's white fang teeth, there are 6 other colors. According to the regulations, it is strictly forbidden to give up the mission, but he gave up the mission in order to save the life of his companions. The companions in the village blame him for the losses suffered by the village. One of them is King Gai's lousy, the blue beast might wears. Chapter 709 Fele Peerless, 8 colors are born. The so-called Konoha Sannin and Konoha Kishi are both figures of the previous generation. King Gai's father, Might, wears one of the 7 colors, the blue beast. The latter is known as the 8 inner gates. The most eye-catching record in front of him was the death of 4 of the 7 Ninto swords with Genin's torso, and saved his son, Shiranui Genma, and Ebisu, but he himself died because of the use of 8 inner gates. The door fell. Later, the Emperor Gai undoubtedly inherited his Laozi's forbearance. At the same time, the blue was better than the blue. In order to commemorate his Laozi, the Gai Emperor gave himself a name similar to 0 and 1-3, the blue beast. Undoubtedly, he wanted to pass on his Laozi's forbearance. For this reason, both the King Gai and Laozi have become 2 of the few awe-inspiring people of the Hyuga clan. Because of Byakugan's pupil technique, the Hyuga clan mainly practice physical training. And 8 inner gates, this physical skill undoubtedly made the Hyuga people shine, and their people even asked Might Dai for some advice. As for who created this martial art, it is still a mystery to this day. But from Madara's remarks when he saw King Gai use this technique, it is certain that this technique should belong to the Sengoku period or even earlier. In addition to the 2 colors of Konoha Shudder and Blue Beast, the other 5 colors are Red Sunset, Night Dancer, Orange Water, Purple Sky and Green Seedling. Red Sunset's father, formerly known as Tarihara Akio, is one of Konoha's 2 greatest phantom ninjas, and even Mangekyo Sharingan's illusion skills cannot rebound. Moreover, it can spread illusion all over a certain area, so the strength is super strong. Advertisement, but it is a pity that he died too early, which caused Ta Rihong to not inherit all of his illusions. Even so, it was still that Yurihong was promoted to Jonin, becoming Konoha's handful of illusion masters. Because his title is Red Sunset, others gave him a similar nickname, Red Sunset. Among the 7 colors of Konoha, he represents the day, while the other color represents the night. Obviously, he is the Night Dancer. The Night Dancer, named Moonlight Knight, is Laozi of the Father of Moonlight. He is an almighty ninja with a little arrogant personality and outstanding swordsmanship. He has inherited the Konoha Ryu swordsmanship created by second Hokage and the family swordsmanship blended together, giving his strength a qualitative leap. Having the blood succession boundary of transcendence is simply as powerful as a tiger. But it is a pity that his son Moonlight Hayate is not as good as his Laozi, and only mixed with the special Jonin. Especially Jonin is weaker than Jonin. The so-called special is because he possesses special talents, which makes him exceptionally promoted to become Jonin. Above Jonin is the Elite Jonin, and the Elite Jonin is the Pinnacle Jonin, which is a half-step cage-level strength. Orange Water, named Senju Orange Water, can tell from his surname that he is a member of the Senju clan. He is the grandson of second Hokage, one of the well-known water-style experts in the history of Konoha. His water fitness is as powerful as second Hokage, and it is powerful enough to instantly destroy a village or even an area. This shows that the evil of second Hokage. Advertisement. Senju Orange Water alone is only Chengzai's mantle of water style, and he can be among the 7 colors of Konoha. Purple Thunder, named Mitarashi Zishou. He is Mitarashi Anko's uncle and the previous leader of Anbu. He is an extremely terrifying almighty ninja, possessing the ability to control 3 types of ninjutsu, and is extremely powerful. If it hadn't been for him to fall prematurely on the battlefield, Anko wouldn't have been tossed and turned to become Orochimaru's disciple. Green Seedlings, named Sarutobi Nu, son of 3rd Hokage, older brother of Sarutobi Asuma, father of Konohamaru. He inherited various advanced ninjutsu from the 3rd generation, and became an expert in Konoha's earth style technique. His earth style has the power of landslides, which makes all enemies feel terrified. Man. And his fire style 3.4 technique is not bad, second only to the Uchiha clan. Sasuke's name comes from him, and Uchiha Fugaku hopes that his youngest son can be as good as the former. This is the so-called Konoha 7 colors, which was started in Ninja World War II. When the time came for the 3rd war of the Ninja World, Konoha appeared again, whose name was unknown to everyone in the Ninja World at that time. For this reason, he was called the 8th color of Konoha. He was later 4th Hokage, the Yellow Flash Namikaze Minato. Chapter 710 Unpredictable, the Hokage Controversy. Konoha Sannin and Konoha Nikiro in front of them both established their reputations during World War II, while Minato only began to behead it in World War III. Therefore, he became the 8th color. It is a pity that Kakashi, Emperor Gai, Shisui and others were too young during the 3 wars, otherwise, they would definitely have a deeper reputation. Kakashi may inherit his Laozi name, and Shisui may be Konoha's 9th color. But afterwards, there was no war, and the naming of names was relatively watered down. Kakashi was able to obtain the title of Copy Ninja because after the Uchiha clan was destroyed, he was the only person with Sharingan in Konoha. 26 Itachi has become a rebel, Sasuke has not yet awakened in his youth. As for Obito, this one doesn't show up much. At this time, the discussion was heated in the Chamber of Parliament in the place where the daimyo lived. However, Tsunade, who is Konoha Shinobi Village Hokage, is no longer among them. As for the reason, that's because of Shiyu's strategy. After Tokiha's body returned to Konoha, he talked with Danzo about what prevented them from coming back. Second, in order to pull out Konoha's cancerous tumor, Tokiha came up with a plan. This is why Tsunade did not appear in the Chamber of Deputies. After all, Danzo had made great contributions to Konoha, and it would not be enough to completely bring him down if simply based on these few things. Therefore, Tsunade agreed to Toki's plan. Of course, when Pen attacked Konoha, he did use the living losing technique, which caused him to be extremely weak now. Because of this, Shiyu asked him to take a short break. Advertisement as for Konoha, leave it to him and Jiraiya. After this time, Tsunade's trust in Shiyu has reached an unprecedented level. Coupled with Jiraiya's help, she didn't mean to disagree. Because she herself is very disgusted with Danzo, it would be great if she could take this opportunity to suppress him completely. However, what Tsunade didn't know was that Shiyu's ultimate goal was to make Danzo fall. Of course, Shiyu would not kill himself, because everything was in his master. Not surprisingly, Sasuke is already on his way to Konoha at this moment. In doing so, he can provide Sasuke with a chance, perhaps allowing himself to complete the task smoothly. It can be described as killing two birds with one stone. In the conference hall, in addition to the two consultants Mitokado Homura and Xuan Zhaobang, the people Konoha came to attend the meeting were also the Captain Nara Shikahisa and Captain Anbu representing Jonin. In addition to the four of them, there is one other person, and he is Danzo. At this time, the latter saw that the time was almost up, and directly stated the ultimate goal of his trip. In addition to dealing with Fu Shao's organization and construction, I think there is one more important thing at present. What's the matter? Said the name of the country of fire. Just to choose a new Hokage. Hearing Danzo's words, Naralugia's eyes suddenly condensed. Obviously, he already guessed the purpose of the latter's trip. Advertisement hearing Danzo's words, the name of the country of fire was also taken aback, and then said, isn't it enough to wait for Tsunade to recover? Lord, Tsunade is still in a coma. The person who spoke was not Danzo, but Xiaochen turning to bed. The reason why Danzo was sure to fight for the position of Hokage was because of the support of Zunjo Xiaochen and Mitokado Homura. For these two people, Shiyu is also very unwelcome. Anyway, if the two people are accidentally killed by someone in the future, he will not help him, and even come to see it as 013. Lord. The village is currently in this situation, but Tsunade doesn't know when it will wake up, so it is impossible to decide the village's decision. Makes sense. The Fire Country Daimyo responded, and then said, that is for the time being Jiraiya is acting as Hokage. I have liked him for a long time. Lord, Jiraiya is indeed a good candidate, but the problem is that he doesn't want to hold this position at all. Otherwise, he would have been Hokage 2 years ago, so why wait until now? The daimyo looked stagnant and asked, then who else can do it? Hearing Da Ming's words, Danzo spoke immediately. Then let me. However, Danzo was interrupted by Nara Shikahisa before he finished speaking. I recommend Hitaki Kakashi. Chapter 711 Sao Operation. Distinguished heavenly gods reappear. In the conference hall, as soon as Naralugi said this, he immediately turned everyone's attention on Kakashi. Oh, you said White Fang's son. Well, I think he is good too, what do you think? After hearing the words of the Lord of the Fire Country, several other ministers also expressed their opinions. Hitaki Kakashi does have a reputation, but also has the corresponding strength. But is it too young? Do you think Namikaze Minato was very young when he became the fourth Hokage? Makes sense. After many ministers discussed it, one of them asked Konoha's senior management. Whose apprentice is Hitaki Kakashi? He is the apprentice of fourth Hokage. Mitokado Homura Kaido. Fourth Hokage is Jiraiya's apprentice, and Jiraiya is third Hokage's apprentice, so there seems to be no problem. When the Fire Country Daimyo said that he wanted to finalize the matter, Danzo spoke out again. Lord. The teachings of third Hokage can be said to be the root cause of the destruction of the village. Everything he has done so far is to become Hokage, and at this moment he is only one step away from this position. How could he give up so easily? What do you say? You may not know that the leader of Akatsuki who destroyed the village was also Jiraiya's apprentice. During World War II, Jiraiya gave other countries combat power because of sympathy for other countries, which led to this situation. Advertisement, his thoughts are so real. The innocent ideas passed down from generation to generation led to the betrayal of the allied power San Shinobi village. It also allowed Orochimaru to successfully destroy Konoha's plan. It also made the current Akatsuki organization and even turned Uchiha Sasuke, the remnant party of the Uchiha clan, into a fugitive. Ninjas are active in the dark. Who do we need for such a Hokage? It's me, the unprecedented Hokage who can clean up the current tragic endgame, change the pattern of the ninja world, and make the planning of the ninja village more thorough. I have to say that Danzo still has his own way of talking. Otherwise, he would not have been able to support Hanzo to deal with Akatsuki at the beginning, and it would be impossible for the root ninja to become a killing machine that only knew to execute orders. After hearing Danzo's impassioned words, the daimyo and ministers of the country of fire all nodded slightly, basically agreeing with the latter's remarks. Under this circumstance, the minister of the country of fire who had been bought by Danzo took advantage of the opportunity to speak. Lord, let's appoint Danzo. Hearing this, and feeling the atmosphere at the moment, Naraluju felt that the big event was a bit bad, and I am grateful for the advice of the great name of the country of fire. Lord, relying on this style of only requiring reasonable and tough. However, Naruto's words were not finished, but they were interrupted by the name of the country of fire. Well, it's decided. Danzo, I now appoint you as Agent Hokage. As soon as the name of the country of fire said this, everyone present was a little confused, especially Danzo, who was the party involved. Obviously, this result was completely beyond his expectation. Acting for Hokage, this is obviously not the result he wanted. Danzo, who came back to his senses, immediately asked the daimyo of the country of fire for instructions. He thought of the reason for doing this. My lord, why is this? Danzo, listen to me. Advertisement. Now the 5th Hokage is still alive, so I can't directly appoint you as the official Hokage. Therefore, I will appoint you to act as Hokage for the time being. When Tsunade wakes up, you and him will complete the handover ceremony, and you will become the 6th Hokage. As you said, let Konoha Shinobi abide by all rules. The handover of the Hokage ceremony is the traditional rule. Of course, if the last Hokage unfortunately fell, it would be another matter. But the problem is that Tsunade is still alive, so there is nothing wrong with this way of handling, and it is completely in line with the rules. Danzo, who was still a little unhappy in his heart, felt helpless after hearing the words of the Fire Country daimyo. First of all, this is indeed the case, and there is indeed such a rule as the successor to Hokage. Secondly, he himself said something similar earlier. Now that others use this as an excuse, he cannot deny it, because this is a declaration of wanting to become Hokage. But is this really the case? Obviously not, because in this special situation, as the lord of a country, good fortune, the Fire Country daimyo has the right to directly appoint the 6th Hokage. But why he didn't do this, the reason is very simple. Because when this national talks conference was called, someone first looked for him, and the current daimyo has long been illusioned. This technique is called Distinguished Heavenly Gods, and it will make the spellcaster act according to the will of the spellcaster. The purpose of the operator is very simple, so that Danzo cannot realize his dream of Hokage. Although the agent Hokage and Hokage are only two words different, they are actually quite different. The so-called agency cannot be recognized as a real Hokage. And it is no one else who manipulates all this in secret, it is Shiyu. Chapter 712 Konoha is flying. The fire won't go out. The rhetoric of the Fire Country daimyo is not unreasonable, and Danzo cannot refuse. Although he is not yet an official Hokage, he can exercise the rights of Hokage. As for the so-called handover ceremony, he has readily accepted it. However, Danzo still raised a question, Lord. What if Tsunade stays awake? This is very simple. The Fire Country daimyo replied, and continued. For 3 months, if Tsunade wakes up during this period, you will directly perform the handover ceremony. If she fails to wake up, then I will directly appoint you as the 6th Hokage. In this way, other people will not make much sense. Since Konoha was not swept by Nagado's Super Shinra Tianjung this time, the damage and death toll were limited. Furthermore, those who died have been resurrected. In this way, Tsunade's decision this time did not cause Konoha to have too many problems, and she also used the live worm technique to hang countless people's lives, which has already made everyone respect this Hokage. Heart of. Therefore, Danzo could not provide a strong reason to directly dismiss the latter. Therefore, he can only accept this result with pleasure. Undoubtedly, all of this is under Shiyu's control. This result is acceptable to everyone present, even Naruto is meaningless. Because this is tantamount to giving a period of relaxation, as long as Danzo is not appointed as the official Hokage, there is still room for maneuver. At the same time, advertisement at this time, Konoha village was undergoing post-war construction work, and Konoha Gate God and other ninjas also participated in it. As Chunin, they can use their power to find wood that can be used to rebuild houses in the battlefield, as well as help sweepers to clean up the garbage on the battlefield. Gang ZT looked at the direction of Hokage Rock and said with joy. Fortunately, Hokage Rock was not damaged. Yes, Shenue Izumo nodded. Hokage Rock is said to symbolize the soul of the continuation of Hokage in the past, and it is one of the buildings that gave them spiritual support. Shiranui Xuanjian on the side heard the words and said, Hokage's legacy is more than that. The so-called Konoha dances, the fire is endless. Indeed, we are their continuation. Yamato responded, backhanding was a move wood-style Lianjujia technique. As Konoha's well-known wood-style ninja, Yamato will naturally take the brunt of this post-war construction work. As for Shiyu, he was not involved. I threw them all to Yamato, the famous day. This is for you to practice immortality. This kind of thing consumes chakra very much. After chakra is consumed, he will let Yamato absorb the natural energy between heaven and earth as a supplement, so that he can CGDE better understand Sage Mode. He is backed by first-generation cells, which is helpful for absorbing natural energy. Seeing Yamato's hand, the surrounding ninjas also screamed. Oh. At this rate, the destroyed houses can be rebuilt immediately. Advertisement. You think things are too simple. Seeing the crowd like this, Yamato said with a wilting expression. Obviously, the trick Lian Zujia technique was about to hollow out the chakra in his body just now. The Lian Zujia technique is an upgraded version of the 4-pillar house technique, which can create many houses at once. In addition to them, there are also some professionals present. What Yamato has created with wood style is just a prototype. It needs to be repaired, improved and strengthened to be able to live for a long time. Among them are Toki and Naruto, who first went to Uzumaki to perform their missions, Uncle Dazna and his grandson Inari. Shiyu, who was in the Uzumaki kingdom, was most impressed by that no longer cut and white, especially the latter. But it is a pity that he is a man. There is also Dazna's daughter, who is also a beautiful child, but she was a widow at a young age, which really suffered her. Shiyu decided that he would have the opportunity to visit him in the future. In addition, Shiyu still remembers that there is a bridge named after himself, Shiyu Bridge. Brother Shiyu, brother Naruto, it's been a long time since I saw you. It was Inari who was talking. They hadn't seen each other for more than 2 years, and he had grown a lot taller. Shiyu naturally recognized the two at a glance, but Naruto was also a little surprised. Looking at the old and the young in front of him, the two familiar faces that had once appeared in Naruto's mind. You are Inari and Uncle Dazna. Thank you for reading this story at Fictions in Chapter 713 Fate Dictates, 5 Shadows Talks. You are Inari and Uncle Dazna. Between the words, Naruto immediately leaned in front of the two of them and began to clarify. Inari, you have grown taller, but you seem to be getting old, uncle. After hearing Naruto's words, Dazna said irritably, boy, when you reach my age, I think you are not old. Immediately afterwards, Naruto directly expressed the doubt in his heart. By the way, why are you here? I became a carpenter, so I accepted the commission of Konoha Shinobi Village to come here. Of course, the main reason is because I want to see you. For Inari, Shiyu and his team are kind to their family. Now that Konoha has a commission, he naturally can't refuse. In this way, they can make money and meet their former benefactors, which undoubtedly kills 2 birds with 1 stone. While Takiwa and Naruto were chatting with them, Kakashi also appeared. Hey, you have already arrived. I heard that there was a major incident in Konoha Shinobi Village, so we set off as soon as we received the commission, Dazna said. That's it. The Konoha construction work will trouble you to do it. If you need it, please mention it to me. Good. Dazna responded with a smile, and asked curiously, by the way, why didn't you see Sasuke? Advertisement, yes. Where's Sasuke, brother? Inari echoed. He is currently on a mission outside, and it is estimated that he will not come back for a while. After hearing Kakashi's words, Inari and Dazna didn't go deep into it. After a brief conversation with Toki and others, they went to start their work. Kakashi looked at Toki and couldn't help asking, what happened to Sasuke? If nothing else, you are on the way to Konoha at this time. Although Shiyu has not contacted Sasuke during this period, there was an agreement that Danzo's life would be left to him. Inferring from time, Toki assumed that Sasuke was already on his way to Konoha. But the latter should not arrive at Konoha, because the 5 Shadows Conference is about to be held. At the same time, on the other side, the Senyi team also found Konoha Shinobi and asked. The surveillance personnel of Konoha Shinobi Village are gone, and the village has become like this. What happened? It was Sam Yi who was speaking, and his tone was shocking. This is the ghost of the Akatsuki organization. The village is currently undergoing construction work. We will always maintain vigilance and strengthen surveillance. Hearing Konoha Chunan's answer, Karui said to himself in relief. Advertisement, look for flowers. Fortunately, it was not caused by me. Obviously, Omoi's previous words were remembered by her, and she was afraid that Konoha's change was really caused by the stone she threw. You are from Cloud Shinobi Village, what can we do? We want to see Master Hokage. Samui replied, and then said, Master Reikage has entrusted us with very important information and wants us to pass it to Master Hokage. 0. Oh, is it about the 5 Shadows Conference? Konoha just received a sealed message, also from Cloud Shinobi Village. The approximate content of the letter was to call the 5 Shadows to talk. There is something else, and the 3 of us are here for this. Hearing Sammy's words, the people from the intelligence department could only take him to meet Shizune. The reason is simple, Tsunade is still in a coma. Although Tsunade discussed with Shiyu, she didn't pretend that she was in a coma. It consumed too much for her to use the live losing technique, and it would naturally take a period of sleep to recover slowly. If it weren't for the smooth implementation of the plan, Toki could rescue Tsunade from the coma with a backhand. But since acting, it is necessary to act like a little. Otherwise, Danzo, the old man, won't get the bait smoothly. Chapter 714 Runaway Ninja, Dead List, Konoha Hospital. Chunin from the intelligence department brought Sam Yi here, and Sam Yi, the leader, went to meet Shizune. After learning the situation, Shizune said, that letter is for my Hokage confidant. No sincerity. This is Samui's answer, and he is obviously a little dissatisfied with Konoha's approach. Sam Yi glanced at Tsunade who was lying on the sick bed, and said immediately. Since I don't know when she will wake up, let me see the agent Hokage. I want him to read the letter immediately, but give me an answer after 07. Master Reikage is very anxious, please let me know soon. But, Shizune is a little at a loss after hearing this, because the matter of acting for Hokage has not been settled yet. However, she immediately thought that a person should have this right. That is Jiraiya, the latter is also one of Sannin, and the original Fire Country daimyo wanted to appoint him as Hokage. Whether it is reputation, generation, or strength, he has it. However, just when Shizune was about to introduce her to Jiraiya, a voice strangled her thoughts. She is not Hokage anymore. I am now the 6th Hokage, so just tell me what you want. Advertisement. As the words fell, Shizune and the others walked into the room slowly. In addition to Danzo, there are 2 root members. I have to say that Danzo is a bit self-righteous. He is only acting as an agent for Hokage, but he calls himself the 6th Hokage. However, in his opinion, this is already a certainty. Although he is only acting for Hokage now, as long as Tsunade wakes up, or the 3-month period has passed, he will be the real 6th Hokage. Seeing that the person who came was Danzo and claimed to be acting as Hokage, this result was completely beyond Shizun's expectation. No way, Danzo actually became Sam. Yi heard that. After thinking a little bit, he passed the seal that Hokage gave her to Danzo. In her opinion, it should be impossible for Konoha to lie. Moreover, Danzo does have a superior temperament, which makes her more certain of this fact. After reading Hokage's letter, Danzo muttered to himself, "Sasuke, it really turned out to be like this." Seeing this, Samui asked politely, "Excuse me, what's your answer?" Konoha. Another place. Riding on his pet dog Akamaru, Ya rushed to the place where Shiyu and his party were, and said directly without saying any greetings, "Calmly listen to me, Tsunade-sama has been dismissed from Hokage." What? Naruto gave a stunned sound, and Kakashi and others also showed a look of error. This result obviously exceeded their expectations, and it can be seen from this that they still don't know Shiyu's plan. Advertisement. In other words, Shiyu never told them. 6th Hokage has decided to be assumed by Danzo. Although it is only acting as Hokage now, as soon as Tsunade-sama wakes up, he will immediately perform Hokage's handover ceremony. If Tsunade-sama does not wake up within 3 months, just skip the handover ceremony. There is one more important thing. Danzo regards Sasuke as a fugitive ninja and has agreed to clean him up. How could this be? Naruto said in astonishment. Not only Naruto, but Kakashi is no exception. Others don't know, and some of them don't know the reason. Sasuke is obviously Shiba's helper outside. I don't know. Ya also looked dazed. For Sasuke, all they knew about the Tao was that the latter went out to practice. Of course, there was a disturbance during the period that Sasuke was taken away by Orochimaru. From this point of view, Sasuke is obviously passive. According to the information they have learned, Sasuke has never done anything wrong with Konoha. Even if the latter did not return after Orochimaru's death, it would be too much to let him bear the label of a fugitive ninja before the reason was clear. Obviously, about 3.4 Sasuke joined Akatsuki to hunt 8 tails. Ya and other Konoha shinobi people still don't know. Kakashi said after frowning slightly, "It seems that something we don't know must have happened in this, otherwise, even if Danzo assumes Hokage, he can't act so arbitrarily." Damn it. Naruto cursed in a low voice and then said, "Grandma Tsunade didn't wake up. That Danzo did such a thing. I will never sit back and watch about Sasuke, I'm going to ask him to be clear." Chapter 715. The Crime of Betrayal. Death Pays Back. I will never sit back and watch about Sasuke, I'm going to ask him to be clear. Seeing Naruto's impulsiveness, Kakashi said, "Naruto, the more you are at this time, the more calm you are. Only in this way can things be handled well." Ms. Kakashi, how calm I am now, I won't let others attack Sasuke. From Naruto's words, you can hear that his feelings for Sasuke are extraordinary, and they deserve to be two people who fell in love and killed each other. Danzo has long known that you would do it when you heard the news. I'm not going to mess around, I just went to have a good talk with him. Why did he give Sasuke the charge of defecting and forbearing? Also, I want him to change his decision to hunt down Sasuke. Kakashi sighed lightly, and then said, 26, as long as it is related to Sasuke, I know you will do it, really. Although Danzo is now appointed by the Lord, even if he has not yet passed the vote of all Jonin, he is indeed Hokage now. Even though they are acting as agents, they still have this right. If you live in a mess, he can put you in jail, so what, I'm not afraid. Advertisement. Seeing Naruto still look like he didn't hesitate, Kakashi was also a little speechless. He originally thought that Naruto would grow up in this battle, but now it seems that when the latter is impulsive, his emotions are still easily out of control. Naruto, I just said this is a trap. You have a 9-tails demon fox in your body, so Danzo has long wanted to restrain you in the village. Didn't you just hit him right now? If things become like this, you won't be able to find Sasuke. So, calm me down now. After hearing Kakashi's words, Naruto, who was originally very excited, finally eased. Being locked up is the second thing. The key is not seeing Sasuke, which is the most painful for him. After seeing Naruto calm down, Shiyu also spoke up. Naruto, don't worry, Sasuke will be fine, believe me. After hearing Shiyu's words, Naruto's worrisome heart was completely relieved. Obviously, his trust in Shiyu has reached an unprecedented level, even Kakashi or Jiraiya can't match it. In order to make Kakashi and Naruto feel less bored, Shiyu also revealed a little secret. He told them that they were the trap they designed to bring Danzo down. What are you going to do with Naruto? Thank you for reading this story at fictionzone.net. Your support enables us to keep the site running. Advertisement, yes. Needless to say, this is the beginning of Sai's recovery of personality. This is no one else, it is Shiyu. May I ask one thing? However, he didn't know that the feeling that he could experience this position now was completely deliberately given to him by others. After hearing this information, Naruto, who was still sad about Danzo's appointment as Hokage, immediately changed his mood. From now on, you will keep me staring at Naruto, and he will report any strange behavior to me. Danzo, sitting in Hokage's office, is enjoying the honor of the Hokage position comfortably, with a hint of joy on his wrinkled face. Hearing Sai's face, although Ji Yu Jing was not waved, there was a wave of waves in his heart, because the last time he and Shiyu were on a mission, the latter had already been instigated by the latter. At the same time, in the Hokage building, 017, Master Danzo, what are your orders? After Danzo enjoyed it for a while, the messenger called Sai. As soon as Sai said this, Danzo raised his brow slightly. He didn't expect that Sai Jing, who had always only obeyed orders without asking the reason, was a little abnormal today. What's up? After responding, he couldn't help but ask. The purpose of this person is very simple. It is because Danzo has made a lot of contributions to Konoha. It is only to satisfy one of his wishes before dying. This is also a death reward. Chapter 716 Sai's Heart, Forbidden Spell Seal, in Hokage's office. Danzo was slightly surprised, and then said, "Don't worry, Naruto is now a hero in the village. The villagers trust him very much, even higher than my 6th Hokage." From Danzo's words, we can hear that he has some uncomfortable feelings in his heart. As a Hokage, he is not as trusted by others as a genin. In addition, he has always regarded himself as the 6th Hokage, as if he felt that he had taken this position firmly. "If I do anything to Naruto, it should affect your reputation, my lord. You know, now is a crucial moment for Jonin's vote of confidence. There is no other way." Danzo did not condense slightly between the words, and said in a deep voice, "Naruto is Jinchuriki. As a Hokage, I have to monitor his every move. I will not be as naive as Tsunade." Said he was stunned for half a second. Kaido understood. Soon after Sai came out of the Hokage building, he met Toki and his party. Seeing the latter, Naruto leaned forward. "Sai, you came just right, and I just happened to ask you something. Naruto's purpose is very simple, just to get to know Danzo by the way. Although Shiyu told him just now that all this is just a trap set by him and Tsunade, Kakashi just suggested to ask Sai. In this way, he should be able to understand Danzo more deeply, and even the power he possesses." Needless to say, the latter is the point. In Kakashi's view, Shiba and Tsunade are undoubtedly a game. Although he believes in Shiba, if he can understand everything about Danzo Master, their plan will proceed smoothly. Advertisement. However, Kakashi and Naruto never thought that Shiyu proposed this plan just to make Danzo sick. If he wants to, Danzo can't even get Agent Huo, Shadow. Moreover, this is also to allow Danzo to leave Konoha for the Gokage talks, thereby giving Sasuke a chance to kill him. In addition, there is another purpose for the world to know the other side of Danzo that is not recognized. In this way, everyone in the future will feel happy to have a Hokage like Tsunade. As the saying goes, there is no harm without comparison. "What's the matter?" Sai said. "I hope you can tell us everything about Danzo." Naruto didn't avoid Kaido, and didn't even think about Sai Danzo's subordinates. Hearing this, Sai was taken aback for a moment, and then said, "You know my identity, so you should know if this is possible." "Why? Did you come back to him again?" Naruto was a little bit difficult in the words. In his opinion, after experiencing something at the Tiandi Bridge in the country of grass last time, Sai should have been instigated by them. Why did he hold this attitude again today? "It's not like that. It's just, seeing Sai seems to have something unspeakable," Naruto also immediately asked. "Just what? Because I can't say anything about Danzo." Hearing Sai's words, Naruto was completely confused, obviously don't know why. Naruto doesn't know, it doesn't mean Toki and Kakashi don't know. Advertisement, yes, this is Danzo's technique on me. Sai nodded, and then stuck out his tongue, only to see a mysterious rune on it. "That's a curse seal." Kakashi said. This curse is to prevent us from failing to perform our mission and being caught by the enemy, and we won't give out any information. Thank you for reading this story at fictionzone.net. Your support enables us to keep the site running. That's it, no way. Lord Danzo and this organization are spies, and they have done a lot of dirty things to protect the village, so we must not divulge any information. Shiyu was just looking at this one, and only slightly became Danzo's ambition. Sai's words are true. Danzo has trained Anbu and has been in control for so many years, and he has indeed done a lot for Konoha, especially those things that are not visible or operated by them in secret. Kakashi on the side seemed to think of something, and then said, "It should be some kind of ban. Everyone at General has this kind of curse. This move can be regarded as letting him die. As long as we say anything about him, we will be paralyzed, unable to speak, and will also be unable to move." Really cautious. Kakashi muttered softly, and not only the scenes of saving Yamato that year appeared in his mind. Kakashi is obviously no stranger to this matter, because he sneaked into the roots to solve Yamato. "Is that so?" Naruto asked. "What is this?" Chapter 717 Will of Fire, Confrontation Cloud Shinobi. Hearing that Sai said the curse seal, Naruto said uncomfortably. "I actually impose a curse on my subordinates. I can't agree with this incident. After I become Hokage in the future, I must abolish this cold-blooded measure." From Naruto's words, you can hear his dedication to Hokage. He wants to protect Konoha's desire. In addition to his childhood dream, it was also related to meeting his parents not long ago. He knew that both third Hokage and his father died to protect Konoha. In order to make more children become orphans like him, he wants to do his best to protect his friends and protect the entire Konoha shinobi village. Needless to say, this is all brainwashed by the thought of third generation. Where Konoha flies, the fire is endless. Simply put, it is to inherit the will of fire. Sai didn't laugh at Naruto. The first is that he doesn't have that kind of heart. The second is that Naruto, who is now in 020, is indeed qualified to become a Hokage. It was what Danzo said to him earlier that Naruto is now a hero in the village, and his words and deeds are estimated to have a greater impact than his Hokage. No way, we have always protected the village secretly like this. Although the style is tough, everything is for the village. Leaving this aside, what I want to ask is why he included Sasuke on the list of defected ninjas and threatened to remove it. Does this matter? Sai said in a dazed, weak voice. Sorry, I haven't heard about Sasuke at all. However, while Shiyu and Sammy were talking, two figures suddenly appeared beside them, two figures that were strange to them. Even when it was Shiyu, it was the first time that he saw them with his own eyes. CGDE. Advertisement. These two people have dark skin and dress very differently from those in Konoha village. At first glance, they know that they are not from the village. The breath and deeds from them can determine that they are a ninja. The simplest and most direct thing is that they wear a forehead protector on their heads, but that is not the Konoha logo, but the Thunder Country Cloud Shinobi Village. These two are not others, but Omoi and Karui who have just arrived in Konoha. The two happened to pass by here, and after learning the word Sasuke from Shiyu and the others, they immediately leaned over. No way, because the information they got was that their master Killer Bee was captured by Sasuke. That's why, at this moment, when they heard about Sasuke, they couldn't control it. I saw the well-built Karui drew the long sword behind his back and said to Shiyu and his group. It seems you know him. In that case, tell us about Sasuke. Seeing the two of them so powerful, Sai didn't talk nonsense, and reached out his hand on the short sword behind him. The situation changed in an instant, and the double reversal suddenly became rattled. As predicted, Omoi and Iruka had a disagreement, so they did it directly. The two shot at the same time, and the long sword in their hands waved out, during which Omoi did not forget to remind. Don't kill him, I know. Karui responded, apparently knowing what Omoi meant. First, they are in Konoha Shinobi Village at the moment, so naturally they cannot kill people here. Second, they also want to ask for information about Sasuke from the mouths of Naruto, Sai and others, and they cannot kill people either. The battle started and Sai and Naruto fought each other. Advertisement seeing this scene, Shiyu didn't mean to act at all, and even Kakashi on the side was indifferent. Shiyu is completely in the mood to watch the show, and Kakashi knows that Naruto and Omoi will not have a death fight between them. Furthermore, he also wants to see the strength of the younger generation of Cloud Shinobi Village. How? Bump. Kang. There was the sound of metal crashing, but also the roar of flesh and blood. After a brief confrontation, the double opposition also opened up the distance, and this initial confrontation ended fairly well. After the confrontation between the two oppositions again, Naruto also drank it. Who are you? Look at their forehead protector, it should be from Cloud Shinobi Village. Sai replied with Naruto, and then wondered, I just don't know why they ran to our village. Omoi did not answer Naruto's question, but repeated the previous words again. You were talking about Sasuke just now, tell us about him. His tone is full of jealousy and sharpness, there is a posture that you don't say I will do it again. Hearing that, Naruto couldn't help but drank it through the mouth. What does our talk about Sasuke have to do with you Cloud Shinobi? Of course it does, Omoi responded decisively, and then said. You Uchiha Sasuke of Konoha Shinobi Village, attacked our village not long ago. As soon as this remark came out, apart from Toki Yu, everyone in the room was shocked. Because this answer was completely beyond their expectations. Chapter 718 The Origin of Cloud Shinobi. The Eagle Breaks Dawn. After Omoi confided that Sasuke had attacked Cloud Shinobi Village, Naruto, Kakashi and Sai fell silent. Upon seeing this, Karui said again. Not only that, Uchiha Sasuke also took away our master. Now our master is still alive or dead, B******************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************** such a thing? Naruto said incomparably angrily, obviously believing this fact. In his opinion, Sasuke has absolutely no reason to do such a thing. Seeing Naruto's appearance, Omoi couldn't help but shouted, "How can we know what Akatsuki's purpose is?" "Shao, what do you mean?" Naruto captured this key message from Omoi's words, a message that was completely unexpected. "What are you acting stupid? Sasuke is now a member of Akatsuki. And you Konoha have never dealt with this matter, so Raikage-sama sent us, and now your new Hokage has also agreed to clean up Uchiha Sasuke." After hearing this, Naruto probably understood the whole story. Why was Sasuke included in the list of defected ninjas? Why did Danzo clean up Sasuke? It turned out that such a shocking event happened. It's impossible for Sasuke to give their masters? Advertisement thinking like this in his mind, but Naruto still didn't want to believe this fact because he couldn't think of why Sasuke would do this. "You only need to tell us everything about Sasuke, this person must be defeated by us." When Omoi and Karui confronted Shiba and his group, Sasuke, who was approaching Konoha, was also stopped. No one stopped them, it was Obito. Sasuke looked at Obito in front of him, frowned slightly, and said, "How do you know I am here? Don't underestimate me, I have this ability." After hearing Obito's words, Sasuke didn't bother to investigate the cause, but asked directly, "What do you want to do?" The 8 Tails of the last hunt was based on their own merits. Now our evil team is now separated from Akatsuki and has nothing to do with you. This was Shiba's confession to Sasuke, and once the matter was completed, he would leave the Akatsuki organization directly, so that it would not arouse Obito's suspicion. And if you continue to stay in Akatsuki's organization, you will surely arouse suspicion. And this is what Sasuke hopes, because he doesn't have a good impression of Akatsuki. The last time I reached an agreement with Obito, it was entirely because of the fall of Itachi. But since Shiyu told him that Itachi was not dead, his heart came back to life, and because of this, he naturally didn't bother to deal with Akatsuki. Advertisement. The reason for still hunting Eight Tails according to the agreement was to prevent Obito from being suspicious, and to compete with Eight Tails Jinchuriki, which was also recommended by Shiyu. For flowers. Sasuke has always wanted to make a difference with Naruto. If even Eight Tails Jinchuriki can't beat him, how can he beat Naruto who owns 9 tails in the future? I said before that if you betrayed Akatsuki, it would be a dead end. And now you have violated the original agreement with me. What's the meaning? Sasuke is completely at a loss during the words. I don't know what medicine is sold in Obito's gourd. 0.0 They have hunted 8 tails as agreed, and now there is nothing wrong with leaving the Akatsuki organization. How can they betray? Obviously, Sasuke didn't know that the killer bee he brought back was just a tail of 8 tails. It is understandable that he would misread it, because the tail came from 8 tails and was part of its body, and it was impossible to tell whether it was true or false. The principle is the same as that of Shadow Clone. He is an entity condensed by chakra, even the special pupil technique separates them. This is why when Sasuke handed over Killer Bee to Obito, the latter could not see through it in the first time. If he hadn't used the Geto statue to absorb 8 tails, I am afraid it would still be kept in the dark. Although it was just an 8 tails of 8 tails, the huge chakra contained in it was enough to keep this body for a while. It's about catching the tail beast. Jong, Chapter 719 Fake the Real, Hokage Translocation. It's about catching the tail beast. Hearing Obito's words, Sasuke and his party were also shocked. They obviously handed Killer Bee to the leader. What if the latter opened his eyes and said nonsense? Shanglin was out of anger immediately, retorted, didn't we have caught 8 tails and taught it to you? That's a stand-in, in other words, your mission failed. As soon as Obito said this, the 4 of Sasuke and his party were completely confused. Substitute, they worked so hard, and they almost took their lives. 023, you are telling me that they're just a clone. Are you kidding us, or are you trying to let us use this without an excuse? Do things for you again? The most surprised is Sasuke, because he owns Sharingan. At this moment, Sasuke frowned slightly, and thought secretly, I haven't used Sharingan to see through, he shouldn't have the opportunity to use the clone. Wait, is it the body? Sasuke thought of a possibility. He felt that Killer Bee was the only way to fool his Sharingan. At the same time, Shuei was very upset at this pressure, yelled. So what? This matter has nothing to do with us. Do not. Obito denied Shuei's words, and then said, since you are doing things as Akatsuki, you must do things well for me. Advertisement, however, the 8 tails thing is forgotten. I now decide to ask you to do another thing. Hearing Obito's words, Sasuke's eyes condensed. How could his arrogant personality tolerate Obito, an irrelevant person, gesticulating and arrogant? What if I refuse? Then I will fight you right here. If that's the case, you won't be able to go to Konoha Shinobi Village. HMPH, do you think you can stop me? During the words, Sasuke's eyes suddenly became cold, and a thunderlight flashed in his hand, and Chidori was directly released by him. In his opinion, his strength is already very strong now. Even if he doesn't know the bottom line of Obito in front of him, he can definitely fight against him. This is Sasuke's self-confidence after comprehending Susanoo. Taste. Sasuke held the Chidori and shot it towards Obito. However, not only did the lightning in his palm miss Obito, but his body also passed through the latter's body. Sasuke has seen this technique because he had a fight with Obito when Toki killed Deidara. At that time, he saw the ability of the latter. Although this ability is very pervert, Sasuke feels that there is no absolute skill, and there are always flaws in any powerful skill. He now found clues in the battle with the latter, but it is a pity that Obito did not give him this opportunity. Tell you the truth, it's too late for you to go to Konoha now. As soon as Obito said this, Sasuke stopped trying and asked. What's the meaning? Now your purpose is very empty, because the Konoha Shinobi village has been severely hit. It is not Obito who is talking at this moment, but a guy with a black and white face slowly emerging from the trunk. Advertisement. Needless to say, he is absolute appearance made the expressions of Sasuke and others startled. Who is he? Shanglin said, don't worry, he is my partner. For this mysterious black and white face, Sasuke's eyes were also condensed, because he didn't even know when the latter came. This is terrible, which means that White Zetsu escaped his perception. If it was just him, this person actually escaped the perception of fragrant phosphorus, which shows that he has an extraordinary ability to hide his own breath. This is indeed the case, it is all relying on the ability of White Zetsu. Seeing Ju appeared, Obito went straight ahead. Who became Hokage anyway? It's a guy named Danzo. Hearing answer, Obito didn't show the slightest surprise in his eyes, but he had expected it a long time ago. Same as I guessed. Obito not only knows the existence of Danzo, but also has an understanding of the latter's behavior. If 3.4 were not for him to confuse it, he would not be able to recruit Nagato into the plan smoothly. Although Obito didn't have the slightest consternation, it doesn't mean that Sasuke didn't. Because of Itachi, Sasuke also has a certain understanding of Konoha's senior management, and Danzo is one of them. It's just that what he didn't expect was how Danzo became Hokage. What about Tsunade? Why does Hokage translocate? At this moment, Sasuke is at a loss. He doesn't know what happened to Konoha. Chapter 720. All directions are moving. The root of hatred. Danzo became Hokage. What Sasuke can't accept most is that Danzo has become a Hokage. You must know that this is a must. Yes, Obito nodded, and then said, he is one of the high-ranking officials of Konoha Shinobi Village who persecuted your brother. He is the new Hokage. Although the Fire Country daimyo temporarily appointed the deputy Hokage, once Jonin passed the vote of confidence and the handover ceremony, then he will be the real 6th Hokage. What the hell is Konoha Shinobi Village? This is what Sasuke wants to know most at the moment, even though he knows that Shiyu is very strong, there shouldn't be any danger. But hearing that Konoha had undergone such a big change, it was unavoidable to be worried. After all, there are days outside the sky 26, there are people outside the world, maybe there are people stronger than Shiyu in this world. My subordinates attacked Konoha, causing serious damage to the village. 5th Hokage Tsunade fell into a coma in order to protect others. Konoha, who was originally dissatisfied with Tsunade, proposed to replace Hokage, but Danzo persuaded the Fire Country daimyo and other ministers, so he was appointed as the new Hokage. NS. This incident plus your previous hunting of 8 tails has caused the 5 major nations to start to move. It is said that the 5 Shadows Conference is about to be held. When Sasuke talked with Obito, the situation on the other side became more tense. Karui looked at Shiyu and said again, advertisement. Tell everything you know about Sasuke, not just his ninjutsu style and ability, but also the intelligence you have collected about Akatsuki, information about his partners, and their records of actions. After hearing these words, Naruto directly questioned. Sasuke, how could it be a member of Akatsuki? It's more appropriate for you to ask him directly. What you have to do now is tell us everything about him. Are you sure there is nothing wrong? Naruto still didn't want to believe it. It can't be wrong. Amoy made a very affirmative voice, and then said, our people saw that the family has the emblem of the Uchiha clan, and the person's appearance is exactly the same as the portrait of the list. So, this is already a certainty. How so? Naruto whispered, and then looked at Takiwa who was aside. Obviously, he wanted to ask the latter for proof. In Naruto's view, if Shiyu didn't know, then they really had to go to Sasuke to ask what was going on. It's even better than when Gaara, who was sick and pitiful with him, was taken away by Akatsuki. He was a bit unwilling to hold back, not to mention being such a close person. This matter has nothing to do with you. How can you understand our current mood? Omoi responded, and then said, our captain has already communicated with you Hokage, and is waiting in the intelligence department. Advertisement, therefore, there is no need for you to come and consult us. As soon as Amoy said this, Naruto, who had originally wanted to speak out, stopped talking. We are just people who ask for relevant information. Now that the master is still alive and dead, we can't help it at all. Because the person who has been in contact with Sasuke is Shiyu, they both agree that the latter may know something. At this moment, Naruto suddenly thought of something. Hasn't the new Hokage already included Sasuke on the list of traitors, so Konoha Shinobi Village should inform you of all the information about Sasuke. Not only Naruto, but even Kakashi looked at Tokiha. This made him think of everything that Nagato said to him before. As long as there are strong people in this world, unfair things will happen. Once these things happen to you, your relatives and friends, the so-called hatred, will follow. Upon seeing this, Shiyu glanced at the two with a deep look and did not answer them, but said to Amoy and Karui who were on the opposite side. If your master is taken away, what will happen to you? Is your master Jinchuriki? To be honest, if Jiraiya or Kakashi were taken away, he should be like the two in front of him. Or, even more excited, Chapter 721 2-level reversal, looking for prey. Is your master Jinchuriki? Hearing Naruto's words, Amoy and Karui were both taken aback. How do you know? I am also Jinchuriki, and I will also be the target of Akatsuki's hunt. The reason why Konoha became like this is precisely because of Akatsuki's invasion. Naruto replied in the face and continued. According to the reliable information we know, Akatsuki will definitely capture Jinchuriki alive. So, your master should still be alive. I have to say that Naruto, who calmed down, is still a bit brainy. Earlier, he was so dizzy about Sasuke, he didn't even think about these information elements. What? Really? Nature. Naruto replied with great certainty, and then said, I will help you save master, and I will tell you about Akatsuki. For Killer Bee, although Naruto has never seen the latter, they are both Jinchuriki, and he feels obligated to help. Otherwise, when Gaara was captured, he would not try his best to rescue him. In his opinion, Jinchuriki has an unforgettable time. This kind of thing can only be understood by them as Jinchuriki. Advertisement, however, Naruto did not say to help them hunt down Sasuke. Blonde boy, you are so sensible, Iruka praised him, and then his tone changed. By the way, I don't know what your name is. Vortex Naruto. As for his name, Naruto didn't hide anything, because he really wanted to help the two of them. While Naruto, Iruka and others told some information about Akatsuki, Sasuke and his party heard a shocking news. What? You said Naruto defeated Pain. When Shuei Yu said this, his face was full of incredible. Not only him, but also Sasuke, Shanran and Shigogo, because they have learned from Ju's mouth that Six Paths Pain is a powerhouse with Rinnegan, the supreme pupil technique. After some shock, Sasuke secretly said in his heart, Naruto, you have become stronger. However, at the moment Sasuke's heart is relaxed. Although Konoha Shinobi's village has been severely damaged, the person he cared about did not happen. Unexpectedly, that guy who seemed so unreliable would suddenly become so powerful, Shanlan also whispered. Damn, there's no reason. Shueui sighed up to the sky. Because he often quarreled with Naruto during the time in Orochimaru's secret place, and now I heard that Naruto became so much stronger all of a sudden, it doubled his pressure. Advertisement: if he wants to be the next two people at odds with each other, wouldn't he be at a loss? Thinking of this, Shueui couldn't help but swear secretly. No, I have to improve my strength. If I can learn that secret technique in the clan, then don't be afraid of that guy. The secret technique in Shuei's mouth is the supreme technique of their Ghost Lamp clan, 3000 Luoshui. This technique is the performance of water style reaching its peak. But it is a pity that this technique has long since been lost, and in the history of the Ghost Lamp clan, the master has no more than one hand in this technique. This shows that this technique is very difficult. After a brief silence, Sasuke's expression changed again. Scholar, that's not important at all. What I care about is the 5 of Jiao film talks. Sasuke, what are you going to do now? After Shuei asked, she said to herself, if that Danzo is going to participate in the 5 Shadows meeting, then we better go there too. It seems that it can only be so. Let's go to the 5 Shadows conference to get rid of Danzo first, and then make other plans. Sasuke's eyes were extremely firm, his tone was full of killing intent, and his body exuded endless killing intent. Danzo, this prey, he will undoubtedly kill. Chapter 722 Storms Gather, 5 Shadows move together. After understanding Sasuke's decision, Shanlan felt a little unhappy. It turned out to be so troublesome. Her idea is very simple, she just wants to see Shiyu soon. After tasting the forbidden fruit with Shiyu, she now loves Shiyu even more. But now because of the 5 Shadows talks, they wanted to change their destination, which naturally made her feel unhappy. However, she can only obey. Because Shiyu explained to her, during the action with Sasuke, everything had to listen to the latter's arrangements. She may not follow other people's words, but Shiyu's words will definitely follow. Hearing the words of Phosphorus, Obito looked towards Ju. Absolutely, you take them. There is no nonsense after hearing this, and it split into Black Zetsu and White Zetsu directly in front of Sasuke and others. Come with me. When White Zetsu's voice fell, he flew directly in one direction and left 027. Upon seeing this, Shigego, who had never spoken, opened up. Sasuke, can they believe it? Don't worry, just go and have a look. Sasuke responded, and then said, if there is a problem, I will use Amaterasu to kill him. Anyway, I just want to try something. After a few slight conversations, Sasuke and the group of 4 followed White Zetsu and left. Advertisement: seeing Sasuke and others disappearing in front of him, Black Zetsu muttered to himself. It's so smooth. Do not. Obito denied Black Zetsu's words, and then said, I didn't expect that Nagato would use the revolving heaven technique prepared for us in that kind of place. He actually betrayed us. Even if Sasuke surpasses Nagato, if there is no way to control it, it is meaningless. So, I have no plans to combine him with the Geto statue for the time being. Let's observe it for a while before talking. However, Obito never thought that Nagato was not dead. It was not the latter who gave birth to Konoha's revolving heaven, but a person they never thought of. However, they naturally don't know this. Therefore, they want to try their best to draw Sasuke into the group. The purpose is to let him inherit the responsibilities of Nagato to combine with the Geto statue. To be precise, I want Sasuke to replace Nagato as a victim. Hearing Obito's words, Black Zetsu said, didn't you also consider Nagato's dead script? Yes, but that is undoubtedly the worst script. It's just that what I didn't expect was that it was Naruto, that whirlpool, that got me on this path. Now our plan has to change. What are you going to do? Black Zetsu said. This time I won't be hiding behind my back. Kai is going to change. Moon Eye's plan has to speed up. There is no doubt, CGDE, Obito intends to do it himself. When Sasuke and others rushed to the location of the 5 Shadows talks, the shadows of the 5 major nations were also ready to set off. Advertisement: in the Kingdom of Wind, Sanagature has 3 people going to the 5 Shadows meeting this time. Is there no news from Team Cold? As for the information about Sasuke, I can't comment. Yes, I have told you everything I should say. They are Hokage Gaara, his sister Temari and brother Kankuro. Azabuye nodded, and then said, they have set out to Konoha Shinobi village for a while, and they will contact us soon. In the Water Country, Kirigakure is still 3 people. They are Mizukage Terumi Mei, veteran Joninao, and one of the 7th generation Ninbo Chojuro. And Thunder Country Cloud Shinobi village sent 3 people, which seems to be a customary rule. Also, I told them the time and route of your going to the meeting a long time ago. Maybe we will meet them on the road. As for the left hand, there is a Jonin named Shi. Thank you for reading this story at fictionzone.net. Your support enables us to keep the site running. One of them was Darui, who was later the 5th Raikage. He was regarded as 4th Raikage's right hand. At this moment, 4th Raikage, who had already been looking for him, said to Mabuye aside. In the land of the earth, Iwagakure also traveled to 3 people. They were Tsuchikage Onoki, and his granddaughter Kuroto, and guarding Akato. He is an all-around elite Jonin who is good at using illusion skills, medical ninjutsu and has the ability to perceive. He has short yellow hair, handsome face, energetic work, and smart thinking. But when the 5 shadows rushed to the meeting place, Naruto and Amoy and the others had a gap again. Very good, then let's go. When the voice fell, Hokage left with his left and right hands. Chapter 723 The King of Rap, the Sky and the Earth. As for the information about Sasuke, I can't comment. After hearing Naruto's words, Karui and Amoy were suddenly anxious. Boy, what do you mean? Damn, what the hell is going on? Neither of them thought that Naruto would insist on concealing everything about Sasuke, which completely surprised them both. Feel sorry, I know I'm going to do this very headstrongly, but I still can't sell Sasuke. I understand very well your idea of looking for him, but you are looking for him with a killing intent. If you kill him, then I as a friend will definitely become an enemy with you. And if he kills you, this kind of killing will continue. Your village will still send stronger and more people until Sasuke is killed, and this will still return to the first situation. In this way, this kind of thing will be repeated and may eventually lead to even greater disasters. What Naruto said really made sense, and both Dermoy and Karui fell into a short silence. Immediately afterwards, Amoy spoke. Then what do you do with our hatred? How are you responsible? When Karui heard this, he immediately agreed. That's right, Sasuke is the first one. I don't care, I must kill Sasuke. Just as Amoy was filled with righteous indignation and Karui rushed into the crown, Shiyu spoke again. I'm talking about two, don't worry first. It was our master who was arrested, but not your master. Of course you were not in a hurry. Shiyu was not angry about Karui's scorn. This is human nature. If the latter does not have such impulsive and irritable emotions, he will ignore them instead. If your master is really 8 Tails Jinchuriki, then I can tell you very clearly that not only is he alive and well at the moment, but he is still at ease outside. Advertisement. When Shiyu said this, everyone's expressions were stagnant. Both the Omoi and Kakashi and others were shocked. What are you talking about? Master, seeing Omoi's reluctance to speak, with a look of unbelief, Moyu said again. You heard that right, your master was not taken away by Sasuke. This is impossible. Amoy denied it, and then said, our master was taken away by Sasuke because our people saw it with their own eyes. How can there be a fake? That is. Karui agreed and added, you said our master was not arrested, how do you prove it? Does your master carry 7 swords? Yes. Karui was taken aback for a moment and nodded subconsciously. Upon seeing this, Shiyu continued. Does he wear a pair of sunglasses, an iron tattoo on his right arm, and he likes to talk very much? After hearing this, Karui was shocked. How do you know our master so much? Not only was Karui like that, but Omoi was also shocked. He didn't expect that someone in Konoha would know their master so well. At this point, Amoy said, it's not surprising that you know this. After all, our master was also a thunderous existence in the 3 battles of the ninja world, and it did not fall on your 4th Hokage of Konoha. Amoy knew that in the 3 battles in the ninja world, their master and now 4th Hokage had a battle with 4th Hokage because the battle ended in a tie. For this reason, it also established their reputation for Cloud Shinobi Village AB combination. Furthermore, their master Killer B is a man who perfectly controls the power of the Tail Beast. He is the legend of Cloud Shinobi Village. Without the latter, Cloud Shinobi Village would suffer from the catastrophe of Tail Beasts every once in a while. Advertisement. Therefore, in his opinion, it is reasonable for Shiyu to know something about their master. For flowers, if you want to verify what I said is true or false, you can go to the famous Asan on the top page of the rap world. Asan? But that famous singer Asan? Amoy repeated it. Apparently he had heard of this man. Not only did he hear it, but Karui also felt that the name was familiar, because they had heard it from Killer B. Well, that person. Seeing Shiyu's affirmative look, Amoy and Karui began to believe a little, because he did sound like he was going to the singer-songwriter Asan. Singer Asan, with the reputation of the king of rap, can be described as an idol pursued and worshipped by every rapper in this world. 0. After a short silence, Karui asked, Amoy, is that kid's words credible? Amoy did not answer Karui, but directly asked Shiyu. How do you make us believe you? Are we going to take a trip just based on your empty words? If you can't find it here, then we will tell you all the information about Sasuke. When Shiyu said this, the two of them were taken aback for a moment. After looking at each other, they finally did not continue to question. As for Kakashi, Naruto and Sai, although they were surprised, they did not ask anything. Especially Kakashi and Naruto, who knew Shiyu's basics, knew that the former would not do meaningless things. Since this news is revealed at this moment, it must be his intention, or this information is indeed true. As for how Shiyu knew, they didn't care. They had already seen Shiyu's heaven and earth thoroughly, and what was surprising to know a piece of news. There is only one thing they want to know at the moment, that is, why did Sasuke become a member of Akatsuki? Husband. Chapter 724 Ru Tianzhou, Yamanaka Aburame. When Shiyu settled Amoy and Karui, Danzo also began to deploy his plan to secure Hokage's position. There are 3 people kneeling in front of Danzo at this time, they are all root members. Grown-ups. We have sent someone to follow Anko, should we just clean her up? Not for the time being, now is an important time. I still can't do too much now, otherwise, it's easy to mess things up. Send more manpower. Be sure to find Yakushi Kabuto before Anko and control it. His 030 inches master has Orochimaru's human test data, so we must get it, because that should help my right eye and right hand. Danzo was covering his right eye with his right hand. As the sleeve fell, he could see that his right hand was wrapped in a thick bandage, and his horrible arm was not exposed to the air. Despite this, I can still faintly feel a weird breath of yi. Others may not know what this is, but the members of the root know that it is all Sharingan who was left after the Uchiha clan was destroyed. Not only Obito collected it, but Danzo also collected it. Except for the Sharingan on his arm, the one transplanted on his right eye is the strongest, because at that time Uchiha Shisui's Mangekyo Sharingan, a genius of the Uchiha clan. There is a trick in this eye, distinguished heavenly gods. If not counted as infinite Tsukuyomi, this is by far the strongest illusion technique known to the world. In addition to this reason, Danzo wanted to catch Yakushi Kabuto so much, there was another reason. That's because he was afraid that Yakushi Kabuto knew about his relationship with Orochimaru. Once this information is known to Konoha's other people, it will be impossible for him to secure the position of Hokage. Advertisement. Well, the wind and take the root and stay. Terai, you are responsible for Kabuto's affairs. Yes. After the man named Terai responded, he used the body flicker technique and disappeared in place. Upon seeing this, Danzo continued, I'm going to the 5 shadows talk. According to the regulations, if there are no special circumstances, the participants can only bring 2 people there. I decided to take you 2 masters who are among the best in the roots. It is forbidden to wear masks during the meeting. Take it off. Hearing Danzo's words, the 2 root members did not hesitate at all, and directly took off the masks on their faces. The 2 of them are the roots of Funghadu. Take the root, the full name is Aburame Take the Root. It is the unborn genius of the Aburame clan. Before Aburame Shino grew up, he has always been the strongest genius in the clan. Fung, named Yamanaka Fung, is the genius of the Yamanaka clan. It is precisely because these 2 people are geniuses in their respective races that Danzo will try his best to train them into his own cronies. In his opinion, the master will be able to master the Aburame clan and the Yamanaka clan in the future. After removing the mask, Yamanaka Fung asked, My lord, I don't know how prepared the weapons the guard can use. Don't worry too much about this, just do as usual. After the Yamanaka wind was restored, Danzo told Aburame to take the roots and said, Take the roots, you send your subordinates to monitor Naruto. Advertisement, at this critical and healthy time, we must not make any criticisms, and we must completely prevent Nine Tails from leaving the village. After listening to Omoi's narration, Sammy's gaze fell on Shiyu for the first time. You said Master was not captured by Shao organization? Hearing Omoi's words, Samui glanced at Shiyu and others and then said, Let's listen. What's your name? What? Captain, we did collect very useful information. We know that Killer B may still be alive, and it is very likely that he was not caught by Akatsuki's people in 3.4. Seeing Samui was astonished, Amii did not hide it, and directly informed the former of the information he had just heard from Tokiyu's mouth. Takikawa Tokiha. Although I don't think Sai is betrayed by the roots, but still beware. Thank you for reading this story at fictionzone.net. Your support enables us to keep the site running. At the same time, yes, as soon as he said this, Sammy's expression was suddenly startled. The conversation between Shiyu and Amii is also coming to an end, because their captain Samui has arrived. Kalui, Omoi, how is the intelligence gathering? Aburame took the root and responded, and then disappeared into a puff of white smoke. Chapter 725 The name of the copy, Takikawa Tokiha. Shiyu did not conceal it, and there is no need to conceal it. Furthermore, he felt that the beautiful ninja in front of him should know his name so that the latter would remember him. The reason why he made this news earlier was to prevent Amoy and Karui from continuing to entangle, and the other purpose was to draw Samui's attention to him. For this woman, Shiyu naturally wanted to get her. Takikawa Tokiha, I remember you. If the information you provided is true, I will be very grateful to you, but I don't want you to use this as an excuse not to tell us Sasuke's information. That would make me very disappointed in Konoha's ninja. Hearing Samui's words, before Shiyu could answer, Kakashi on the side was the first to say. Don't worry, Shiyu will not lie. P.E. 26 inches. Hearing this, Sam Yi was taken aback for a moment, and his gaze shifted to Kakashi. Who are you? Kakashi. Oh, you are the famous copy ninja Hitaki Kakashi. From Sammy's dismayed words, we can know that the name of Kakashi is still well known in the ninja world today. Although it is not as loud as his lousy Konoha's White Fang, at least it has made his own name. Moreover, when his strength became more and more diligent, the war was over. In this way, it is difficult for a person's reputation to rise quickly. Advertisement otherwise, with the strength of Emperor Guy, he can completely make a name in today's ninja world. At this moment, not only was Sammy a little surprised, but Amoy and Karui who stood beside him were also a little surprised. They didn't expect that the man who stood silently next to Naruto and Toki was actually famous in the rumors. Copy the ninja Kakashi. After learning about Kakashi's identity, Sammy spit out a little. Does it seem that you trust your students? He never disappoints? And Kakashi also gave an extremely complimenting reply, but this is not Kakashi's exaggeration, but the fact that it is. So far, all what Shiyu has done and said has been realized. After hearing Kakashi's words, Samui couldn't help but glance at Toki. Obviously, she was already curious about this boy. What kind of person is the latter? Why make Kakashi such a powerful ninja feel more honored and believe? Her gaze couldn't help but re-examine Toki. But the end result was that except for the handsome face that made people feel a little stunned, nothing else was achieved. When Samui looked at Toki, the latter also smiled slightly, but this smile had a hint of deep meaning. It seems to be expressing kindness, but only Shiyu himself knows the meaning behind it. At the same time, Amoy spoke up. Team leader. Let's go find the killer bee, then we will know if what this kid said is true or false. After hearing this, Sam Yi took his gaze away from Shiyu, looked at his two players, and said, Advertisement. It is because of Sam Yi's thoughtfulness that Reikage will entrust him with the important task. But according to our master's information, it is very likely that the master was taken away by Akatsuki, so we have to make two-handed preparations. Prepare with both hands. Karui was puzzled. Then what are we waiting for? Hurry up. If it is as Shiyu said, Master Killer Bee was not captured by Akatsuki, then the master should have taken the opportunity to leave the village after he escaped. If the killer bee was really not caught, but avoided my eyeliner and went to find the so-called singer Asanzo 33, then we can send anyone there. If the information provided by Shiyu was false, or if Killer Bee was taken by Akatsuki during this period, and they did not take measures in this respect, it would be too late for them to regret once Killer Bee was killed. Thank you for reading this story at fictionzone.net. Your support enables us to keep the site running. For this possibility, she feels a little credible. Sammy nodded, and then said, Amoy, we're going to split up. You go to the singer named Asan. Karui and I will report to Lord Reikage with intelligence, and he will decide. For Omoi's urging again, Sammy did not take it, but said, because since Xiao Group started hunting tail beasts, his actions have been restricted, and he has been a little annoyed after spending so long in Yunlei Gorge. Regardless of whether Killer Bee is in the hands of Akatsuki or not, they have to make possible preparations in this regard. There is no way. Samui deserves to be the captain, she thinks too comprehensively. As for the character of her own master, Samui couldn't understand it better, so she felt that what Shiyu said had a certain possibility. I said, this is just a possibility. Chapter 726 Cloud Shinobi Cold Team. The tongue is utterly perverted. Just when the three of Samui were ready to act, Naruto spoke suddenly. Can you take me to see Reikage? However, as soon as Naruto's voice fell, Karui said lightly. You want to see Lord Reikage? No kidding, in Karui's opinion, such a big man like Reikage can be seen by anyone who wants to see it. Moreover, Naruto hasn't told them Sasuke's information, which makes her feel more grudge. How could he agree to Naruto's proposal? Hearing this, Samui cast his eyes on Naruto, showing a different color. She had already learned Naruto's identity from Omoi just now, and he didn't expect that Konoha Shinobi Village still has such a powerful junior. In her opinion, Naruto is Konoha's hero. If the latter is not too young, this Hokage should be inherited by him. After a thought flashed in his mind, Samui spoke. Now Master Reikage is rushing to the meeting place. There are not many people to protect. We can't let you, someone we don't know, meet Master Reikage. When the voice fell, Sammy said to Amoy and Karui. Amoy, Karui, let's go. I have obtained Konoha's permission. I can detect the related information of Akatsuki and Sasuke. It takes time to copy and you can help. Before leaving, Samui couldn't help but glance at Shiyu. For some reason, among the four people of Kakashi, Toki, Naruto and Sai, she subconsciously felt that Toki was the most dangerous. Undoubtedly, this is from a woman's keen intuition. Maybe Shiyu had an idea for her, which made her feel, or Kakashi's overbelief in Shiyu made her feel that this young man is not easy. After the three of Samui left, Naruto and Kakashi's eyes fell on Takiwa. They want to know why Sasuke joined Akatsuki. Advertisement. However, due to Sammy's presence, they did not directly inquire. Seeing this, Shiyu said, Sai is now our teammate, we should trust him. Hearing that, Sai's eyes flickered slightly, causing his seldom wavered heart to ripple. He didn't expect Shiyu to treat him not only as a teammate. Moreover, trust him so much. However, before telling you why Sasuke joined Akatsuki, I have to do one thing first. What's the matter? Naruto asked. I have to help Sai lift the forbidden spell first. When Shiyu said this, Sai's expression was suddenly startled. Unlock the forbidden spell. This result was completely beyond his expectation, and it shocked him more than what Tokuha had just told him about Sasuke. Can you unlock the curse on me? Sai's expression in the words was stunned, and he never expected Shiyu to have this kind of patience. He knew that Shiyu was not easy, but he did not expect that Shiyu would be able to unravel the seal of the Bane of the Tongue. The seal of the tongue Bane is a special seal technique for Konoha Anbus. Danzo puts a curse on the tongue of the root member. If the person being casted says anything about him, his body will be paralyzed. I can't speak, I can't move. Danzo used this to restrain his subordinates so that they could not tell their secrets. In addition to actively pulling out this kind of curse seal, there is another method, which is to passively disappear. As long as the caster dies, these curse seals will be invalid. But if this technique could be solved so easily, Konoha's intelligence and Danzo's secret would have long been known to other countries. Therefore, there are still doubts in Sai's heart at this moment. He couldn't believe it completely, but Kakashi and Naruto believed in Toki. Advertisement for this reason, before Shiyu could answer, Naruto was the first to speak. Sai, Shiyu said that it must be possible. When Naruto's voice fell, Shiyu said. First Hokage. Seeing Shiyu nodding, Naruto asked immediately. He is still young, and the time he has been in contact with Danzo is limited. There is no way to know Danzo's hidden secrets. I do not know either. Because of this, everyone's eyes are all looking at Shiyu at this moment. From their perspective, Sai directly denied Naruto's conjecture because Danzo personally painted this curse for him. Is this immortal seal left by first Hokage during his lifetime? Good? No, then how can Danzo have the power of first Hokage? Both Naruto and Sai exclaimed, and even Kakashi showed different expressions. Obviously, this answer was beyond their expectation. Big. No, this immortal seal is mixed with the power of first Hokage, and only Master Woodstyle can solve it. Thank you for reading this story at fictionzone.net. Your support enables us to keep the site running. Sai shook his head. He didn't know the secret. Since Shiyu knew that the power of the Seal of Eradication of Soul Despair was derived from the power of first Hokage, he must know the secret. Chapter 727 Get rid of the curse imprint. The method of picking up the brain. Seeing that everyone's eyes were looking at him, Shiyu also simply revealed a little information. I felt a trace of wood-style power on that curse. The reason it is determined to be from first Hokage is that Grandma Tsunade and I were familiar with this power when we studied first Hokage cells. After hearing Shiyu's words, everyone was stunned. However, Sai is still a problem. Shiyu, you just said that unlocking this curse requires the power of wood-style. Is it possible that you are the master of blood inheritance? As soon as Sai said this, Naruto and Kakashi were silent. They knew about Tokiba Master Woodstyle for a long time, but Sai obviously didn't know this. Fortunately, I realized it. Shiyu's short 5-character answer surprised Sai. Woodstyle. This blood follows the limit since 033 in the ancient years, and only first Hokage has mastered this power in the history of ninja. Sai never expected that Shiyu would become a master of this secret technique. At this moment, Sai looked at Shiyu's gaze again, and he felt that he still underestimated the boy of his own generation in front of him. He had never seen Orochimaru with his own eyes the last time that the country of grass killed Orochimaru, so it is not certain who killed Orochimaru. Although he saw it with his own eyes, he did see Susanoo in full. After returning to Konoha, he reported the appearance of Susanoo to Danzo, and the latter also concluded that the person who killed Orochimaru was Sasuke. Because Danzo guessed that it was a secret technique that only Sharingan could master. He can know this because after the battle between first Hokage and Uchiha Madara, Hashirama remained in Konoha. CGDE, for some clues. Advertisement for this reason, Shiyu's powerful existence has been temporarily ignored. Sai's astonishment had long been expected by Shiyu, so he didn't have extra nonsense, but said directly. Show the curse, and I will remove it for you. It's here? Sai was taken aback again, obviously not expecting this. This curse is not complicated. Shiyu simply replied this sentence, but he was still humble. His so-called uncomplicated is actually very simple. This curse seal is only mixed with a little wood-style power, but it is precisely because of this power that ordinary people cannot crack it. For Shiyu, who is a master wood-style and talented tens of millions of times, this is completely a matter of hand. Seeing Sai was still a little dazed, but Naruto on the side reminded him. Sai, you believe in Shiyu? Said that Sai also immediately recovered, and saw Kakashi nod to himself. Although the latter did not say a word, his behavior was obviously the same as Naruto. Kakashi is a well-known senior powerhouse in Konoha. Even if he is like this, Sai has nothing to hesitate. Furthermore, he himself felt that Shiyu would not lie. As soon as he thought of this, he did not hesitate, opened his mouth, slightly stretched his tongue, and revealed the curse rune on it. Seeing this, Shiyu stretched out his right hand and kept his fingers apart. Taste. Advertisement. A faintly invisible golden light flashes, and when it reaches the black curse mark, the latter melts at a speed visible to the naked eye. At the same time, as a person at the time, Sai felt the deepest, and he felt that a very gentle power flowed through his body. Next second, his spirit shook slightly, and he was expelled from the inexplicable force that bound his soul. This feeling is better than ever. There is no doubt that this forbidden curse has been removed by Shiyu. He hadn't thought of pulling out this curse at all, but in the process of getting along with Shiyu and the others, he slowly discovered the existence of humanity. It turns out that he is not a machine that only knows how to kill. The death of his brother Shin originally made him frustrated, but the appearance of Shiyu and Naruto and others gave him another glimmer of hope. Therefore, when Shiyu said that he wanted to help pull out the curse seal, he didn't refuse. Once the human nature appears, then there will be a trace of selfish psychology. Even if this is likely to leak Wei Konoha's information, he also wants to let his personality not be restricted and restricted. Of course, there is also a reason that Danzo imposed it on them. On the surface, it was to prevent Konoha's intelligence from leaking, but in fact, it was to prevent his dirty tricks from being known to the world. Nailed it. As Shiyu's voice sounded, Sai finally recovered from his thousands of thoughts. Shiyu, thank you. The sound at this time was from Sai's true white reading, without a trace of hypocrisy. He was really grateful to Shiyu. Chapter 728 Blood continues to limit, extremely sublimated. For Sai's gratitude, Shiyu said such a sentence. Aren't we partners now? Sai was a little stunned when he heard that, because this was the first time he heard that others regard him as a partner. This word has ceased to exist after his brother believes his death. now appearing in his ears again, undoubtedly rekindled warmth in his heart. However, the reason why Shiyu did this and said this, naturally has his own purpose. Now Konoha's younger generation are elite leaders, and it is Konoha's future in the future. Why can't he take a little more easily? Of course, the most critical point is that Sai's nature is not bad. This is Shiyu Shou's principle, otherwise, his little brother will make trouble everywhere in the future, and in the end it will not hurt his elder brother. It's not that Shiyu is afraid of things, he is afraid of affecting his reputation. Because this thing is very helpful for picking up girls, if you can keep it, it is naturally the best. After Sai's curse seal was pulled out, before Shiyu General Sasuke could tell the story, Naruto was the first to ask. Sai, now you can tell us about Danzo. Hearing this, Sai gave a slight pause, then nodded. Previously, he was bound by a curse, and there was no way to confide anything about Danzo. Now Shiyu has pulled out for him and regards him as a partner, he naturally has no reason to refuse. Immediately afterwards, the four of them found a place to chat. After Sai revealed some of Danzo's secrets, Naruto was extremely disgusted. This person is too damn it, advertisement. As for Kakashi, he already knew something about Danzo. However, after hearing these things, Sai said, I felt that I still thought of people too well. After that, Shiyu gave out an amazing piece of information. That is, Danzo was secretly obstructing Naruto from returning from Mount Myoboku. Naruto heard that he was even more filled with righteous indignation, and he hated Danzo to ultimate in his heart. Does the Lord have a brain hole? How can he appoint such a person as Hokage? As soon as Naruto said this, Kakashi and Sami were speechless. Because from the establishment of the Country of Fire to the present, he hasn't been so openly criticizing the name of the Country of Fire. At least he hasn't heard of it. Even Sai, who was extremely indifferent, was stunned for a few seconds, apparently surprised by Naruto's extremely straightforward words. But it was Naruto's honesty that made him feel sincere, because Naruto didn't have any defense against him. After Naruto's anger passed, Shiyu also revealed the reason why Sasuke joined Akatsuki. What? Itachi is dead. Naruto was shocked again, and it was the hidden secrets that was astonished by him. That's why the Uchiha clan was destroyed. Itachi chose the village and slaughtered the whole village, and Sasuke was the bargaining chip in exchange. Now that Itachi is dead, Sasuke, who learned the truth, decided to take revenge on Konoha, which they can understand in Isshin. This is why Sasuke joined Akatsuki. After knowing the truth, not only Naruto was upset with the senior Konoha, but even Kakashi felt that this was a bit too much. It was also at this moment that Kakashi finally knew why Itachi, who was so loyal to the village, would betray the village and become a fugitive ninja. You know, Itachi was under Kakashi's when he first entered Anbu. Therefore, Kakashi still knows a little about Itachi. Advertisement. He also understood that when Itachi invaded Konoha 2 years ago, he relied on Mangekyo's Sharingan to behead him with obvious opportunity, but why he was only hit hard in the end, it turned out that he had no intention of killing at all. For flowers. Thinking about it now, its purpose is clear. The latter came to visit Sasuke instead of hunting Nine Tails. When I met myself again, he also revealed the existence of Mangekyo's Sharingan by the way. Itachi's purpose in doing this is to make Kakashi have stronger powers and better protect Sasuke. Of course, this is Itachi's attempt. Because Kakashi does not have the blood of the Uchiha clan, he does not know whether the latter can awaken Mangekyo's Sharingan. To be honest, Kakashi's talent is even more heaven-defying than Itachi. Later, the reason why he couldn't compare with Itachi was entirely because of Sharingan. 0. The so-called Changyi Sharingan, failure also Sharingan. Itachi belongs to the Uchiha clan and is a descendant of Sage of Six Paths. He is born to control Sharingan. And Kakashi is not. Because of the transplant of Sharingan, he consumes chakra all the time, even though this eye allows his Chidori to be perfected, and he is a copy of the ninja name. But Sharingan also restricted his talents, preventing him from embarking on his own path. In addition, it may also be related to Obito's dying order of suspended animation, who made Kakashi look at the prosperity of the world with his eyes. For Obito's last words, Kakashi will naturally abide by it. Because Obito died to save Lin, and Lin was later killed by herself after being transplanted to Three Tails, Kakashi's heart was shaken. This is the pain he has not yet healed. Various reasons have led to Kakashi's failure to use his innate talent to achieve the ultimate sublimation. In the end, it can only stop at the level of elite Jonin. Therefore, Sharingan cannot be called the limit of blood succession for Kakashi, maybe it is changed to limit of blood succession. Husband. Chapter 729 Genius, son of Hokage. Although Itachi was rescued by Shiyu, but at the moment he did not announce the news that the latter was still alive or dead. When Kakashi learned that Itachi had died, his eyes were also surprised. Especially when he learned the truth about Itachi, he felt a pity in his heart. He also felt this way when he learned the news of Shisui's death. Maybe this is the so-called genius sympathy. After listening to Shiyu's words, Naruto said directly. Shiyu, I want to find Sasuke. After learning about Sasuke's current situation, Naruto was very worried that the latter would really do harm to Konoha Shinobi Village. Not only Naruto, but even Kakashi, he wanted to find Sasuke before this happened, so as to change his extreme thinking. When he heard the words, Shiyu smiled faintly and then said. Since I have known this matter, it has naturally been resolved, so you don't have to worry about it. Resolved? Naruto asked in surprise. Seeing Shiyu nodding, Kakashi raised doubts, Since it's solved, why does Sasuke join the Akatsuki organization? I asked him to go undercover to inquire about Akatsuki's purpose of collecting the tail beast and the person's intelligence. Which person? Because according to the information I have collected, Pain, who came to attack our village, is not the final envoy. What is really hidden behind the scenes is the guy with the mask and Sharingan. Own Sharingan? Advertisement, Kakashi murmured, and thoughts came to mind. He did not expect that there are still people in the world who have Sharingan, and that they still exist that they don't know. Who is this guy? Will it be from the Uchiha clan? Or is it transplanted just like him? For this reason, Kakashi is very curious about this person's identity. If Kakashi is like this, Naruto and Sai are even more curious. Who is that masked man? Shiyu did not tell the truth about Naruto's inquiry. That's why I let Sasuke sneak into the Akatsuki organization. His identity is even uncertain, Itachi, but he himself is Uchiha Madara. When Shiyu said this, the three of Kakashi were shocked. Uchiha Madara. Naruto and Sai may not know about Uchiha, because Konoha Shinobi's village did not leave his rumors. Therefore, there is excuse for them not knowing. The two of them don't know. It doesn't mean that Kakashi doesn't know. Although he knows very little about Uchiha Madara, at least he has heard of his power. Seeing Kakashi showing a different color, Naruto asked. Kakashi, do you know this person? Advertisement? I heard it. What made Sai even more shocked? Naruto turned out to be 4th Hokage's heir. To be able to stand shoulder to shoulder with it, you can see the power of Uchiha Madara. What? He is the masked man in Dad's mouth. Naruto was surprised. Perceiving the surprised eyes of Kakashi and Sai, Naruto also briefly informed them that a series of things happened when they almost became 9 tails in the battle with Pen. Can't be wrong. In Sai's view, Naruto is obviously an orphan. Where's his father? Although Kakashi knows that Naruto's father is 4th Hokage, the problem is that the latter has been heroically sacrificed in the 16-year Nine Tails disaster, but how can he tell Naruto this? Kakashi responded softly, and then said, this person is the creator of the Uchiha clan. He is the only person who can stand by the side of 1st Hokage. According to their calculations, if Uchiha were still alive, he would be at least over 90 years old. This can be calculated based on Onoki's Madara when he met a young and middle-aged person when he was a teenager. After all, it hasn't been confirmed, but it is certain that Konoha's 9 tails, which was 16 years old, was caused by him. Thank you for reading this story at fictionzone.net. Your support enables us to keep the site running. 1st Hokage, that is the god of ninja, is recognized as the strongest in the ninja world for thousands of years. These words are what he said in order to win over Sasuke. The purpose is to let Sasuke join his camp. After getting confirmation from Toki, Kakashi and Sai couldn't help but fall on Naruto's eyes, because there were 2 words in his words just now. Hearing Kakashi's evaluation of Uchiha Madara, Naruto and Sai also showed deep consternation on their faces. Is this unsure yet? When he heard him meet his parents in the spiritual world, both of them felt incredible. At the same time, they felt that 4th Hokage was so powerful that it could be able to master such a profound seal technique. People of the same generation as 1st Hokage are still alive. This is incredible, right? Chapter 738 Battle of Iron and Blood. The butcher knife is ruthless. After learning the truth about the Nine Tails disaster for 16 years, Naruto once again raised another question to Shiyu. Shiyu, you just said that you have resolved Sasuke's case, so why did he attack Rain Shinobi village? As soon as Naruto said this, Kakashi and Sai's eyes also showed different colors. Obviously, they are also very curious about this. Seeing this, Shiyu said, the reason is simple. It didn't take long for Sasuke's Mangekyo Sharingan to be turned on. If you want to master the advanced pupil skills, you must fight Iron and Blood. Rain Shinobi Village's 8 Tails Jinchuriki is a good choice. After hearing Shiyu's words, everyone was also astonished. Especially Kakashi, because he also awakened Mangekyo Sharingan, so he knew the difficulty of wanting the power of master. He does not have the blood of the Uchiha clan and can only master slowly, but Sasuke is different from him. The latter can master this evolved pupil technique in the most ferocious way. It's fighting, but he still didn't understand one thing, so he could only ask Shiyu for advice. Then Cloud Shinobi said that Sasuke took 8 Tails Jinchuriki? According to Shiyu, he just asked Sasuke to fight 8 Tails Jinchuriki, but why did he take Killer Bee in the end? If it really is what Shiyu said, Sasuke can find an excuse. This is my account. Advertisement. Before you went to Cloud Shinobi village, I told him that if you were lucky enough, you would act according to the plan that the masked man gave you, so as to gain his trust. I should handle the rest of the matter, but I later discovered that Sasuke's offering to the masked man was nothing more than a tale of 8 tails. Because it is part of the body that changes, Sharingan can't break it either. After hearing what Shiba said, the Kakashi trio finally understood. At the same time, he also clarified why Shiyu would tell the Amii trio of unbelievable information. It turned out that all of this was in Shiyu's master. When Shiyu and the others were talking, Danzo had already set off to the meeting place, but at this moment he was in trouble. Shoo, shoo, shoo. As several wind-breaking sounds came from a distance, Aburame, who was guarding Danzo, took the root and immediately reminded him. Grown-ups, however, his words were not there yet. Danzo interrupted them. It's been a long time since I have been in actual combat. These goods are just enough for me to interact with this somewhat dull body. Don't interfere, let me come. Danzo, who was between the words, opened his right eye directly. It was a Sharingan of 3-hooked jade. His original owner is not someone else, it is Uchiha Shisui. As Danzo's voice fell, a dozen ninjas with swords jumped out of the jungle on both sides of them. Without any dialogue, meeting is just doing it. Danzo didn't panic when he saw more than a dozen other people attacking. He saw his hands quickly form a seal. Advertisement after the completion of the Jia Yin, he opened a big mouth, inhaling a pure breath and holding it in his mouth. Immediately afterwards, this breath turned into countless shots and shots. Taste. Twist. Taste. This is B-level ninjutsu, wind-style vacuum sphere. This kind of ninjutsu fires the chakra accumulated in the mouth like a bullet when it exhales, and can continuously exhale short breaths, like a machine gun, which keeps firing and beats the opponent into a honeycomb. As predicted, 037 those ninjas who attacked Danzo were caught off guard by the latter's move. Because the distance was too close and Danzo used Sharingan, more than half of the people were caught. Wow. It hurts. Only a few of the dozen or so people were slightly stronger or had better luck, and they were barely blocked and missed. But despite this, they still cannot change their dying fate. There was no accident. Under the butcher knife that Danzo wielded, no one was spared and all of them were beheaded. Not only that, but Danzo is a fierce master. Even the blades in the hands of all the attackers were inserted into the leader with the red ogre mask, causing him to die in pain. It can be said that this was killed by a live whip. Chapter 731 Yagura. In the blood mist, in the dense forest, on the trail. The corpse was spread out, and the air filled the surrounding air with blood. But Danzo was unmoved. After beheading these, he did not forget to count the total number of people. 1, 2, 3. There are 17 people. Seeing Danzo's future crimes, all 17 people were killed, and the female Aburame who was his escort in Yamanaka didn't have the slightest wave on their faces. Obviously, they have long been used to such things. They are the remnants of the Anbu of the Prajna in the Kingdom of the Forest that we assassinated before, and they are still alive and well, Yamanaka said. They have always been like this, and they always look for opportunities to start. From the underground world station to the bright surface, it seems that there will be a lot of trouble. Aburame took the routes and analyzed. Now that Danzo has become a Hokage, they can only go to the place where they are going to talk on this trip, which will naturally attract countless enemies. As Konoha's Anbu, they can't even count how many things they have done. Ninja is a world of experience, and being incognito is a kind of pride. Cultivation refers to religion, which is called the Tao of cultivation. The believers who practice the Taoism are called practitioners, or mountains, which means people living in seclusion in the mountains. The believers practice asceticism in the spiritual mountains. However, because the outside world still lacks understanding of Shujendao, many people think that this is a weird and outdated religion, so many believers choose not to disclose their identities to the outside world. But only by having a foothold in the underground world and the exposed world at the same time can the country and the village become stronger. I want to make this meeting a success, and let everyone know about my Hokage, so that the Jonin in the village will have to recognize my identity. My time is finally here. As the voice fell, Danzo's eyes became deeper, and his face was full of confidence. It seemed that he was quite sure of the 5 shadows talks this time. And it is his right eye that allows him to have such confidence. This is a Sharingan with distinguished heavenly gods illusion. After a lot of talk, Danzo also continued on the road. Advertisement after saying goodbye to Kakashi and Sai, Shiyu was going to eat ramen, but he ran into a little guy on the road. Big brother Shiyu, second brother Naruto, I found you. Hearing this, Shiyu and Naruto turned and looked at a 12 or 13-year-old boy. The latter carried Konoha's unique mark on his forehead. Obviously, he was already a ninja. This boy is no one else, but the grandson of 3rd Hokage, Konohamaru. Before Shiyu and Naruto asked, Konohamaru was the first to speak. Second brother Naruto, you are too good now. Undoubtedly, Konohamaru refers to Naruto's defeat of Heavenly Dao Pain. Today, Naruto has become the hero of the village. Naturally, this matter spread widely in the village, and Konohamaru naturally knew about it. Hey. Naruto touched his head and smiled. Others don't know the reason, but he knows it well. Without the power of 9 tails and the appearance of 4th Hokage, he would not have won the battle. Of course, this does not deny that he has become stronger. Your second brother is destined to become Hokage's man. How can you sit in that position if you don't become strong? But, having said that, your kid doesn't fall. I heard that your kid defeated Pain with Rasengan. Konohamaru smiled, a little smug. It seems that your talent is not worse than mine. After the village recovers, I will teach you Big Ball Rasengan. Konohamaru nodded, his eyes filled with excitement. Immediately afterwards, the 3 of them headed towards the location of the Yilei Ramen, talking and smiling. In a hotel on the border of water country, Kenjiro. Advertisement, the double sword flounder is very heavy, are you okay along the way? Looking at Mizukage's face and mature charm near Chichi, Chojuro was very shy and vomiting Kaido. It's okay. Seeing that Terumi Mei cared about Chojuro so much, the green on the side couldn't help but say. In the blood fog is the era of blood fog policy during the reign of 4th Mizukage Yagura. It was a dark era, bloody and terrifying. But what is certain is that the impact of the blood fog policy will not be obliterated in a short time. The first is pure revenge, because he thinks Lin's death cannot be separated from Miss Shinobi. Later, the illusion on 4th generation was finally defeated by Qing using Byakugan, and he died shortly after the illusion was lifted. After that, Terumi Mei was succeeded as the 5th Mizukage, ending the terrible period of Kirigakure. The nightmare of 4th Hokage has long passed, so don't compare it with before. Therefore, Kirigakure is also called the Land of Blood Mist. Superior. Although Guiran Taudi survived by killing all the students of his class, he was also dissatisfied with this policy and went to assassinate 4th Mizukage, but in the end he failed and could only become a fugitive ninja. Thank you for reading this story at fictionzone.net. Your support enables us to keep the site running. Obito does this for two purposes. Master Mizukage, you love Chojuro too much. Mist Shinobi implements a national lockup policy. Ninja school students kill each other and become ninjas at the end of their lives. This promotes the formation of the blood fog. Before Qing finished speaking, Terumi Mei interrupted him. Because of this, young people today don't understand how to respect their elders. Now it's just a few steps. What can be tiring in our time? The second is to divert the attention of others and make them mistakenly believe that the birthplace of Akatsuki is Kirigakure. Green, it's not the dark age called blood mist now. But the blood fog policy was not planned by 4th Mizukage alone, but was related to Obito's invasion. According to Kisami's recollection, Yagura was under the control of Obito Sharingan's illusion. He did not have his own consciousness and was unable to move freely. He was completely a living puppet. Chapter 732 Fury of Mizukage, Admiral Mifune. After hearing what Terumi Mei said, Qing apologized slightly. Hug, I'm sorry, I was accidental. Seeing Qing Yanyu so much, Terumi Mei interrupted the latter again. Stop talking about such a heavy topic, get ready to eat. I'm looking forward to the food in this hotel. What will be delicious? Hearing Terumi Mei's words, Qing's eyes fell on Chongjuro. What to eat tonight, Shojuro, you should have arranged it. What? Hearing this, Chongjuro gave a stunned voice and hurried Kaido. This hotel has a lot of things. I have been worrying about which one to choose. As a result, I haven't decided yet. Hearing this, the blue face sank, and it was a reprimand. You are too indecisive, no wonder young people today lack hockey. Sorry, I'll make arrangements right away. After leaving a word, Chojuro immediately disappeared from the sight of Terumi Mei and Qing. Seeing the direction of Choju 037 Lang's disappearance, Qing broke his mouth again. Really, in our time, however, he was interrupted by Terumi Mei again. Shut up. Otherwise I will kill you. At this moment, Terumi Mei can't bear it, because they mentioned the topic of what to eat tonight, just now, and this sentence is very similar to the word marriage contract in Japanese. Advertisement. So, Terumi Mei got a little hairy after hearing this. Because she missed the wedding date at the beginning, and now she is an older leftover woman. Now that she has become Mizukage again, with a single identity, it has become difficult for her to find a partner. The first is because of the dignity of this status, most people don't dare to covet the ship. The second is because there are too many things to be busy as a shadow of a village, and there is not much time to fall in love at all. However, having said that, Terumi Mei and his party are okay. At least there is a place to stay tonight, where you can eat hot and delicious food, but Tsuchikage and his party do not have this condition. At this time, the three people of Onoki are sleeping in the open air meal. They don't have a hotel here, they can only use Earth style to build a house to withstand the cold wind and rest at night. I have never been to the Iron Country, so I look forward to it. He speaks terracotta, and the country of iron in his mouth is the place where the Five Shadows Conference was held this time. On hearing this, Oyemu was a bit disdainful. Huh, that place is boring. Old man, what, CGDE, is that kind of place? Heitu's character is a bit like a man, and he even calls his Tsuchikage the old man. Of course, this is also because Tsuchikage is her grandfather. In response to his granddaughter's question, Oyemu said after he pondered slightly. That is a place called the Three Wolves. That country is surrounded by 3 mountains, and it has a unique culture and authority. It is a neutral country with strong combat power. Since ancient times, ninjas have agreed not to attack this country. For this reason, there are no ninjas in the Iron Kingdom. Advertisement. Their power to guard the country is a group of people called samurai. Although they don't know how to do ninjutsu, they have powerful combat skills. Just when the 5 major shadows were heading towards the Iron Kingdom, Sasuke had already arrived here first. Looking at the water moon rising from the water, Sasuke asked. How's it going? Because the 5 shadows talks are about to be held, the defense here has been strengthened. Sasuke heard the words and looked at Shigeo, who was aside. Jungo, you use animals to find the force that is loosely guarded and can come and go freely. Understood. Soon after Sasuke arrived here, another group of people came, and they were greeted personally by Admiral, the country of iron. An old man who was about 60 years old looked at the 3 people in front of him and said, Master Fengying, I'm waiting for you. I am Admiral of the Iron Country, Mifune. Mifune is also a great figure. He had a battle with Sanjiao Hanzo during the Second Ninja World War. Although they lost, they also gained some fame. Just like Konoha, they all came to the ninja world through Hanzo. To be honest, Hanzo was really strong at that time. If not, he would not be honored as a demigod. Chapter 733 The undercurrent is raging. The heroes gather. Seeing that Admiral, the country of iron, took the initiative to greet him, Gaara was also disrespectful. Happy meeting. I'm Fukage Gaara. After a brief conversation, Konkuro on the side felt the weather in the country of iron and couldn't help but mutter. It's so cold, the country of climate and wind is exactly the opposite. No wonder Konkuro is like this. The land of wind is located in a land of yellow sand, where the climate is relatively hot all year round, which is undoubtedly the opposite of the country of the extremely cold subway. Hearing Konkuro's words, Mifune said immediately. Please, let me make a cup of hot tea to warm up the three of you. And when Gaara was greeted by Mishap into the city, Sasuke also made progress. Jungo, how is it? There is a road going up from the west, and there are no guards there. That's great. Sasuke replied softly, and then looked at Xianglin and said, Xiaolin, you must always pay attention to the position of guarding chakra, we are now starting to sneak in. Hearing the words, the fragrant phosphorus was slightly taken aback, and then said, I want to go too? Now is the time for you to use your strengths. Hearing Shuei's words, Xianglin was speechless. But Sasuke shifted his gaze to Ju, who was aside, and said, You call it absolute, right? What, you have to help us confirm which one is Danzo, so you have to come too. After a brief discussion, Sasuke and his group of 5 also followed Zhongwu towards the west of the main city. On the way, Shuei grumbled, Advertisement, I'm a little tired. Why don't you lie in wait here, then kill Danzo when he arrives here? Hearing Shuei's words, Xianglin immediately fought back. You idiot, Hokage will be late. Once there is a little movement on our side, the guards of the city defense will immediately notice it. Then the city will definitely send reinforcements. What if the other 4 shadows also come? We still don't know the enemy's abilities, so I suggest finding a chance to kill the enemy on the way back. Sasuke, what do you think? Xianglin, now concentrate on investigating the guard's position. Seeing that Sasuke didn't answer the fragrant phosphorus, Shui Yu immediately laughed and said, Haha, you were ignored. To shut up. White Zetsu couldn't help but say when he saw the fragrant phosphorus in the water moon. Sasuke, you really worked hard, it does not matter. All you have to do now is let me know what Danzo looks like before the talks begin, that's enough. Also, I hope you don't lie to me. As soon as Sasuke's voice fell, White Zetsu didn't wait for White Zetsu's answer, but Phosphorus at the back was the first to speak. Leave it to me. I can feel the slight fluctuations in chakra, and lying can cause subtle chaos in chakra. Don't worry, I won't lie. White Zetsu responded and explained. Danzo is also a hindrance to us, and it is best to get rid of it. When Sasuke's group of 5 began to sneak in, Raikage's group was about to arrive. However, they met the other 2 first. As one of the right and left hands of Raikage, as an excellent perceptive ninja, he was the first to notice 2 waves of chakra around him. Master Raikage, the cold team is here. Advertisement. For flowers. As the Greek voice fell, the Raikage trio stopped immediately. Da. Boom. Darui and Shi, who are Raikage's left and right hands, are both relatively minor, but Raikage's voice and shadow are much larger than that of the 2. Seeing Sammy and Karui, Raikage asked, Why are you only 2? Amoy. Master Raikage, this is the situation. After responding to Raikage, Sammy informed Raikage of the relevant information and matters he had learned in Konoha. 0. Omoi was sent by them to find the so-called Asan teacher in Tokuhaguchi, so only the 2 of them came to meet. When they learned that Killer Bee had not been caught, the expressions of the 3 Raikage were slightly taken aback, feeling a little unbelievable. However, they are still skeptical. It is naturally impossible for them to believe in this possibility by relying on Shiu's words, but because they did not abandon this possibility all at once, that is because they are all people who understand Killer Bee, and it is really possible for the latter to do this kind of thing. Out. If that guy really escapes the village without being caught, watch me go back and teach him. Raikage muttered to himself, and then said to Sammy. You did a good job. Now follow me to the country of iron. You can start the action after the meeting regarding the hunt for Akatsuki. Yes. The 2 replied softly, and then they followed the Raikage trio towards the main city of the Iron Kingdom. Shortly after, 5 shadows arrived at the main city of Iron Nation, and the so-called 5 shadows talks were also going smoothly. Chapter 734 Take control of the Tail Beast, 5 Shadows War? At the time of the 5 Shadows conference, Sasuke and his party, who had already sneaked into the main hall of the city, were hiding in the surroundings, watching everyone passing by here in secret. When Danzo and his party passed by this hall, White Zetsu pointed to Danzo in the middle and said, It's the old man in the middle. He is Danzo. Between the words, Sasuke looked at Danzo's figure, with murderous intent in his eyes. Had it not been for the crowds here, and he didn't understand Danzo's details, he would have done it a long time ago. Shortly after Danzo arrived in the main city hall, the 5 Shadows conference was held in an orderly manner. As the main congregation, San Chuan looked at the 5 shadows in front of him and said, Everyone is going to Raikage's 040 inches to make an appointment here to hold the 5 Shadows conference. I am the 3 ships in charge of this meeting. I announce that the meeting will now begin. As Mifune's voice fell, after Gokage remained silent for a short time, Gaara opened the situation. Let me talk first, listen to everyone. However, Gaara was interrupted by Onoki at this point. The changes in Wying are still really big. Master Fengying became the village chief at a young age, it's really amazing. It seems that my father taught you very well, but he doesn't seem to teach you politeness. Regarding Onoki's reprimand, Gaara did not appear to be angry, but his words were not weak. Probably so, that's why I sit here as Fengying. Ha ha ha, you are very smart. Kankuro, who was standing behind the curtain, saw this scene and couldn't help but say. What does Tsuchikage want to do? Be quiet. In order not to affect the smooth progress of the talks, Tamari can only ignore such trivial matters for the time being. Advertisement and Terumi Mei, who was a Mizukage, stood up when seeing Onoki like this. Master Tsuchikage, please don't interrupt. Terumi Mei's eyes fell on Gaara again, and said, Master Fengying, please keep talking. Hearing this, Gaara nodded slightly to Terumi Mei and continued. I am also Jinchuriki myself, and I was grabbed by Akatsuki and pulled out the tail beast from my body. I almost died in their hands. So, I think Akatsuki is a very dangerous organization. I have requested the assistance of the villages several times, but there has been no response from you, except for my predecessor, Hokage. Now Jinchuriki is basically captured by Akatsuki before thinking about contacting. I think it's too late. After hearing Gaara's words, Onoki was the first to respond. Humph, Jinchuriki from the 5 major countries has been taken away. It is really shameless to face other countries. This is a great shame. Therefore, after the tail beast is taken away, it should be recaptured in secret, rather than seeking help from other countries. In the eyes of Tsuchikage, their 5 major countries are among the top ranks of the countries in the world, but now the Jinchuriki in their hands was taken away by an Akatsuki organization, which is really embarrassing. Hearing Onoki's words, Gaara immediately said coldly. Face. Stand. This kind of old-fashioned idea is ridiculous. Huh, boy, you are still young, it's normal that you can't understand this. In Onoki's view, face is undoubtedly very important. Or in other words, it is the same in the eyes of the older generation or the previous generations, or their educational thinking is so stubborn. Seeing Onoki and Gaara have a tendency to pinch, Terumi Mei said again. Don't panic, everyone, the tail beast won't immediately become a threat. Advertisement, you know the power of the tail beasts. It is so difficult to seal them, let alone control and use their power. This process will undoubtedly take a while. When Onoki heard this, he said, Jinchuriki must grow up with the tail beast and adapt to each other. Even if it's not easy to control the tail beast like this, you can't be careless. I'm right, Master Fengying? Seeing Onoki still verbally aiming at herself, Gaara was also a little speechless. He didn't expect this old guy to be so careful. After Gaara, Onoki, and Terumi Mei made their voices, Danzo, the agent Hokage, finally spoke. Until now, the only tail beasts that can really control are Uchiha Madara, first Hokage, fourth Mizukage, and Raikage-sama's younger brother Killer Bee. Danzo said that, but he knew that the last 2 and the first 2 could not be compared. Fourth Mizukage and Killer Bee depended on being Jinchuriki symbiosis with the tail beast to gain the trust of the master tail beast's power, but Senju Hashirama and Uchiha Madara were suppressed by hard power. Not only did they think so, but everyone present holds the same idea. But it's a pity that Raikage didn't care about it at this moment. After hearing the 3 words Killer Bee from Danzo, he couldn't help it. At this moment, Lei 3.4 Ying's aura suddenly broke out, and a burst of anger and killing intent shot out from him. When Raikage raised his thick arm, Ching, who was standing behind Mizukage, immediately reminded Chojuro on the side. Kenjiro. Yes, not only were they so aware, but the guards of the other 5 shadows jumped out from behind the curtain at this moment. Boom. With a loud noise, a big hole was punched in the left side of the 5 shadows conference by Raikage's thick arm. And those who were guards of the 5 shadows also appeared at the meeting table one after another, guarding the shadows of their own village. The situation is extremely tense, as if the 5 shadows battle is going to be in the next second. Chapter 735 Tensions. Uchiha Madara. Stop trembling. This was the first sentence Raikage said. Obviously, he didn't want to waste time on this boring discussion. He wanted to gather the power of the 5 shadows to deal with the Shao organization and quickly rescue his younger brother. Seeing Raikage so excited, Admiral Mifune, who was in charge of this meeting, also hurriedly stood up. This is an occasion for everyone to discuss together, please don't be rude behavior here. Mitsune fell down. Danzo also ordered, take roots, wind, and step back. Kankuro, Tamari, you also withdraw, Gaara said. Ow, Chojuro, I'm fine, don't worry, Terumi Mei said. On the other hand, Onoki didn't say a word, but his eyes had already told the black soil and the clay soil what to do. No accident, all the 5 shadow guards who had rushed to 26 retreated. Immediately afterwards, Raikage spoke again. Konoha, Rock Shinobi. Sand Shinobi. Mist Shinobi. Akatsuki was built by the fugitive ninjas in these villages. Not only that, I also found out that the former village head and some of the people present had used Akatsuki. So, I don't believe you at all, I don't want to talk to you either. I invited you here to see if there is a problem with your information. As soon as Raikage said this, except for Gaara who was a little confused, the other 3 people were all different faces. Obviously, Raikage is not lying. Advertisement, what do you mean by exploiting? Gaara asked directly, because he really didn't understand the secret. Seeing Gaara knowing nothing, Raikage chuckled softly. Fengying, you don't know anything. Find time to ask the old guys in your village. You have used Akatsuki in previous wars. As soon as Raikage's voice fell, Tsuchikage took it, but the words were a bit wrong. The major powers are now in a stable state. Therefore, all countries have carried out disarmament. As long as the tension between the countries is eased, there will be no cruel wars. Ninja village, as the main force of the country, will become a waste of money, but doing so is also accompanied by risks. In the event of a sudden war, if you rely on inexperienced ninjas, you will only lose in the war. Hearing Tsuchikage Onoki's words, the smart Gaara immediately analyzed the key points. Tsuchikage, do you mean that one of the ways to avoid this risk is to hire a combat mercenary group like Akatsuki? After being a Hokage, you should know that it takes a lot of time and money to develop a good ninja. And Akatsuki, who lives by fighting for a living, is a ready-made combat organization, and they don't need to pay too much money to help them fight, and even get the best results. Under the superposition of various factors, the Shao organization naturally became the target of employment in various countries and villages. After listening to Onoki explain to Gaara, Reikage has no patience in an instant. Tsuchikage, don't change the pervert degree suddenly. Sanagakure used Akatsuki to destroy Konoha, that is, he used Orochimaru, one of Sannin, and no one knows whether he had left Akatsuki at that time. Because of this relationship, both the predecessors Hokage and Fengying have fallen. Of course, it cannot be ruled out that this matter was planned by others. The only thing possible is Kirigakure. At this moment, Reikage's spearhead was directed at Mist Shinobi, and his gaze was also fixed on Terumi Mei. Advertisement, your village is different from other existences, and some people even say that the Akatsuki organization was born where you are. In the face of Reikage, Terumi Mei remained silent. Or is it the case? Or is there any unknown reason for this? As predicted, after Terumi Mei was silent for a while, her red lips slightly opened. Since it has been spread like this, I will tell you the facts. We have always suspected that 4th Mizukage is being manipulated by someone, and Akatsuki is most likely behind the scenes, so we don't want to make matters worse. Hearing what Terumi Mei said, Reikage said with disdain. 040. Why do you each one? However, Tsuchikage interrupted Reikage before he finished speaking. Reikage, stop talking. It is because in this era of disarmament, you are collecting ninjutsu in the pursuit of strength and desperately collecting ninjutsu. We have to hire Akatsuki to fight against you. What Onoki said, the Cloud Shinobi village was the powerful secret technique they used to ship in various villages, such as Konoha's Byakugan, Sharingan, etc., which is why Kushina and later Hinata were abducted by Cloud Shinobi. What did you say? Reikage was obviously dissatisfied with Tsuchikage's rhetoric, and his temper came up all at once. However, before the two began to pinch, Danzo interrupted. Before everyone argues, let me tell you the information I know. What do you want to say? Reikage, who was already a little irritable, heard Danzo's words, and suddenly shouted violently. Akatsuki's leader may be Uchiha Madara, Chapter 736 Control the Trend, Ninja Allied Forces. Akatsuki's leader may be Uchiha Madara. As soon as Danzo said this, the audience was silent for an instant. After everyone was stunned for a while, it was Tsuchikage who broke the atmosphere. Didn't he die long ago? I am not very clear, but this information is very credible, Danzo said solemnly. Unexpectedly, he is really a monster. After Tsuchikage exclaimed, Mifune spoke. I will speak as a leader of a neutral country. I think Akatsuki's leadership has always been in the trend of the master era. They use the stability of each country and each country's mistrust of each other to try to expand their strength, and if this continues, even our iron country will be involved. But it's a blessing in disguise. It is very difficult for the 5 shadows to gather together. Before Akatsuki's problem is completely solved, I suggest that the world's first ninja coalition should be formed from the ninja villages of the 5 major countries. Allied forces. Reikage was surprised. This proposal is good. The current situation is urgent and we have to work together. Danzo is in favor of this, because he is here to establish his name as Hokage. If the ninja coalition can be formed, then his position can be relatively stable. In other words, he will never reject this proposal. Among them, it is very likely that his consciousness dominates, because the current 3 ships have been hit by his illusion distinguished heavenly gods. Therefore, Mifune will inadvertently follow Danzo's intentions, but he himself cannot find this, and it is extremely difficult for others to find out. This is the pervert of distinguished heavenly gods. But, I hope that only the system can be unified, because we can't continue to mix rounds. After hearing Mifune's words, Tsuchikage said, advertisement. Then the question now is who should be given the power to command the coalition forces. If you discuss it, there will only be a picture of continued disputes. So, I hope you can respect me as the leader of a neutral country, and let me propose which of the 5 shadows is more appropriate. Now Jinchuriki only has the 9-tails demon fox in Konoha Shinobi village. How to control that thing will be the key. So, I suggest to give Hokage the command of the Ninja Alliance. What do you think? As soon as Mifune said this, everyone's expressions suddenly stagnated, and Reikage stood up directly. What? For Reikage and everyone's astonishment, Danzo did not pay attention to it, but said directly. If you don't dislike it, I am willing to take this task. Hearing that, Reikage was the first one to be unhappy. Why give it to Hokage? He is synonymous with the darkness of a ninja, how could it be given to him? Obviously, Danzo's reputation in the ninja world is not very good. To be precise, it is extremely poor, which is why he is said to be synonymous with the darkness of the ninja by Reikage. Reikage can only say that it is euphemistic enough, because people with certain qualifications know that the head of the group is a person who has exhausted the dirty time. Otherwise to whom? Mifune raised questions. Although there was his own consciousness in this, most of it was the result of Danzo's secret dominance. People who lack credit cannot shoulder this important task, and no one in our village has ever joined Shao. So, this position should be given to me. Advertisement. Reikage's words are not unreasonable. Their Cloud Shinobi village really has nothing to do with Akatsuki. However, his words were denied by Mifune as soon as they fell. I don't agree with this. What did you say? If you want to dominate the powerful ninja coalition forces, in addition to having strength, there is one more important point, that is, you must have a calm heart, so that you can accurately judge the good or bad and see the essence of the matter. If you give this post to you who can only use emotions, the coalition forces will be like this table and become a mess. Hearing Mifune's words, Reikage could only grit his teeth. I am standing in the identity of a neutral country to make calm judgments and proposals. Master Fengying is still too young to shoulder this important responsibility. With his current qualifications, he is obviously not enough to be recognized by everyone in other countries. It is still too reluctant to rely on the title of Fengying. Master Tsuchikage is too old and lacks mobility. Furthermore, Master Tsuchikage has a little too much belief in Akatsuki's power. He has been hired to fight against foreign enemies many times, so it is not suitable. As for Master Mizukage, the village she leads is likely to be the birthplace of Shaoji, so I am careful that there may be spies in the village, and there is a risk of intelligence leakage. Although I don't know why Akatsuki wants to collect tail beasts, we can't give them the 9 Tails monster fox. 9 Tails is part of Konoha Shinobi village, so I think it is most appropriate for Hokage to take on this position. Mifune said here, everyone present looked different, but no one objected. Obviously, the analysis of the 3 ships makes sense. However, at this time, Reikage, who was a little unwilling, still jumped out. Chapter 737 Instant Shisui, White Zetsu appeared. I don't agree with the formation of a ninja coalition, so that people outside will know about our village. Seeing what Reikage looked like, Ching said to Chojuro who was on the side. Nagajiro, the situation is delicate, ready to fight at any time. The younger Chojuro obviously hadn't judged the situation in front of him, so he was a little bit hesitant. However, since Ching said so, he did so. The situation in front of him gave Ching a strange feeling. He couldn't understand why Mifune would recommend someone like Danzo to be the commander of the coalition forces. Recalling that 4th Hokage was controlled by illusion, Ching said inwardly. Is it right? Just confirm it. In his mind, Ching opened Byakugan directly. His Byakugan is naturally from the Hyuga clan from Konoha Shinobi village, which was obtained in the war. Cloud Shinobi village saw that Kirigakir's youth successfully transplanted Byakugan, so he had the same thoughts. This is also the cause of Hinata's abduction. When the green Byakugan scanned Danzo, his expression was stagnant. This is, how can this be? The color of chakra on the right eye is the color of the person 320. It can't be wrong, that is Uchiha Shisui's chakra. I have fought against this powerful enemy, and I can't forget his color. In Ching's view, Shisui is a formidable opponent. If it were not for his young age during World War III, he would surely let more people remember this name. After making this amazing discovery, Ching didn't hesitate, and directly appeared behind the curtain behind Mizukage. After showing up, his gaze was directed at Danzo. Master Hokage, please let us look at the right eye under the strap. As soon as Ching said this, everyone present was stunned. Obviously they didn't know what Ching wanted to do at this time and on this occasion. Is it just a moment of curiosity to see the scar under Danzo's bandage? Or is there any hidden secret in it? Advertisement, but whatever the secret, what does this have to do with this meeting? Hearing CGDE words, Danzo's eyes narrowed slightly, and he was very surprised, but his face was still Wujing Wubo. What's the meaning? Your right eye should have been transplanted after taking Uchiha Shisui's eye. After answering Danzo, Ching explained to everyone. As far as I know, Shisui's pupil technique can invade other people's brains unconsciously, allowing opponents to act according to their own will. It is almost impossible for the person being manipulated to find that he has been hit by the operation. This is an extremely advanced pupil technique. After hearing these words, everyone present was astonished, and the violent Reikage spoke out directly. Hokage, don't you give Mifune to me? Ching's words are already obvious, but Mifune, who is a neutral country, is indeed somewhat abnormal today, and it is very likely that he has fallen into illusion. However, before Danzo could answer, there was a sudden change in the center of the round table. I saw a white cell squirming quickly, and finally a person emerged from it. It was White Zetsu. The appearance of White Zetsu immediately attracted everyone's attention, and the guard of 5 shadows also appeared at the meeting table again. Why does someone show up again? Reikage said. Is it Akatsuki? Danzo said uncertainly. It shouldn't be wrong, Tsuchikage said solemnly. However, the next sentence of White Zetsu surprised everyone present. Tell you a news, Uchiha Sasuke has invaded. As for where he hides, you have to find it yourself, Reikage, who heard the words, came out first and shouted. What did you say? Others were talking a lot at this moment, and they were obviously surprised by the news. Kitu looked at White Zetsu, who suddenly appeared in front of her, and asked. Advertisement, who is he? It is said that he is already a member of Akatsuki now, Tsuchikage said. Gaara, Temari and Kankuro couldn't help muttering after hearing the name Sasuke. Sasuke. That guy? What is he doing here? The survivor of the Uchiha clan, Terumi said. Is it the little devil who participated in the defeat of Bai and no more, Qingdao? And Danzo thought to himself. Sasuke came here, how could it be? Others didn't know the news that Sasuke hunted 8 tails. He knew it, after all. Team Han had already been to Konoha. Now that Sasuke has been included in his list of fugitive ninjas, he is the target to be killed, but now? White Zetsu actually said he was here. What is this place? The place where the 5 shadows talks. How dare ordinary people come? Everyone at this moment was thinking about what White Zetsu said was true or false, but Raikage couldn't take care of that much, and yelled at White Zetsu again. Where is Uchiha Sasuke? You tell me clearly. The moment the voice fell, Raikage appeared in front of White Zetsu's eyes, and a big hand directly clasped his neck. The speed was so fast that everyone present was shocked. This guy is so fast. White Zetsu gave a secret shock. Say, where is Uchiha Sasuke? If you don't answer, then you're done. In the face of Raikage's threat, White Zetsu's heart was still a little panic, and Kaido slowly. Well, I will give you some tips. Chapter 738 Fallen, Expose, Cross. Well, I will give you some tips. However, as soon as White Zetsu's voice fell, the power in Raikage's hands broke out instantly, which directly broke White Zetsu's neck. In this scene, everyone who was there was also stagnated. Raikage's killing was more decisive than they thought. White Zetsu died tragically in his hands because he did not answer Raikage's question directly. But in fact White Zetsu is not dead. All this is also due to his cells that can regenerate quickly. It can be said that first Hokage's cells saved him. After breaking White Zetsu's neck, Raikage spoke to his guard. Hey, let's start. Yes. Needless to say, Raikage wanted to go directly to Zuju. Terumi Maid took his gaze back from the fallen White Zetsu and said to Raikage. There is no need to kill him. If you control and interrogate, you might get information about Akatsuki. Mizukage's words are bad. Gar interrupted, and then said, every member of Akatsuki is a desperate ninja out of life and death. They won't reveal any information about Akatsuki at all. Gar's voice fell, and Mifune spoke to the 2 guards behind him. Okazuki, Pujao. You immediately issued the order to find Sasuke, and ordered to enter the second emergency combat state. Kirigakure Cyclops, look at Hokage. Raikage's voice fell, and there was a loud noise from the hall of the meeting. Boom. I saw a huge hole on the wall of the meeting hall at this moment, which was destroyed by Raikage. Hey, Darui, let's go. When the voice fell, Raikage disappeared from the meeting room. Upon seeing this, Darui scratched his head and smiled awkwardly. Advertisement, sorry, the table and the wall are covered. Darui hadn't finished speaking before he was interrupted by Shi. Hey, Darui, it doesn't matter, hurry up, Master Raikage is still waiting for us. Hearing that Darui did not continue to stay, the 2 also rushed out from the cave in the wall. Upon seeing this, Tsuchikage said with a slight criticism. This is a daredevil. The rough boy in Cloud Shinobi Ninja Village has been Raikage for so long, but nothing has changed. After White Zetsu exposed Sasuke's trail, Mitsubaya's escort immediately activated the second emergency combat state. And this action of the samurai of the Iron Country made the extremely sensitive incense Phosphorus notice. Sasuke couldn't help asking when he saw that Phosphorus's expression was abnormal. Fragrant Phosphorus, what's the matter? The samurai suddenly moved, as if they were looking for us. I'm definitely separated from us. Could it be he did it? Zhang Wudao. Earlier, White Zetsu separated from them after pointing out which Danzo was, and there were only 2 people who knew their whereabouts, Obito and Zetsu. The 2 of them are in the same group. If the samurai of the Iron Kingdom is really looking for them, it must have been leaked by White Zetsu. With the large-scale dispatch of the warriors of the Iron Kingdom, the position of Sasuke and others was quickly discovered. A samurai saw Sasuke wearing a black hat coat. Because of his distance, he directly threw the samurai sword in his hand. Call out. Taste. The katana hid directly and set it on the wall. After the 3-4 warriors approached, they did find that only the hat gown was hit. Already escaped. If they can't escape far, they will continue to search for me. As the voices of the 2 samurai fell, the samurai searching around quickly got this information. Advertisement. For flowers. Immediately afterwards, they directly drew the samurai sword from their waist. Sasuke's hat robe appeared here, which means that the group of them should be nearby, so they must always be prepared for the battle. Shanglin was surprised to see chakra attached to the knives in the hands of the samurai. The samurai will also control chakra. Incorporating chakra into the blade, this is another use of chakra, which can greatly increase the attack power. Suizuki explained. This control method is necessary for the 7 ninja swordsmen, and this method is also known as Suigetsu. However, the next scene caught them off guard. Sasuke, why did you run out? I saw that there was an extra figure in front of the group of samurai they were watching at the moment. It was Sasuke. Clatter. After Sasuke stopped in front of these Iron Country warriors, Haki said. I am in a bad mood now. If you want to attack, then I can't be merciful. Sasuke was not in a good mood when he saw that Danzo was about to hold back for a while, but now that he was cheated by White Zetsu, his mood was naturally worse. However, regarding Sasuke's threat, the samurai did not have the slightest timidity. Because the capture of Sasuke was not only an order from Admiral Mishap, but their katana spirit did not allow them to retreat. Sorry, we are the same. The voice fell, and the samurai headed by the swordsman with 2 swords directly swiped at Sasuke twice. Taste. Taste. 2 slashes across the air, forming a cross. This is the martial skill of the Iron Kingdom, cross slash. Husband. Chapter 739 Face Off Raikage, thunder through the sea. Facing the cross cut by the samurai of the Iron Kingdom, Sasuke didn't have a trace of dread. Call out. I saw that with a wave of his hand, the pheasant sword on his waist was cut out in an instant, and the cross was cut to dissolve it. Seeing this scene, the Iron Country samurai said. Did he bounce it off? His moves are very similar to ours? This is indeed the case. Sasuke's original Chidori flow attaches the thunder attribute chakra to the pheasant sword, making his slashing more powerful. Seeing Sasuke directly collide with the samurai of the Iron Country, Shigego said. Aromatic phosphorus. You don't have to sense the position of the 3 Nissan samurai anymore, quickly sense the location of Danzo. Duh. Shanglin was taken aback, and then said, what will the samurai do? The samurai can leave it to us, you quickly lock Danzo's position, don't let him escape. As Shigego's voice fell, Sasuke was already confronting the samurai of the Iron Kingdom. It's just that the chakra exuded by Sasuke now makes the phosphorus field depressed. Since the last hunt of 8 tails, Sasuke's chakra is completely different, even more terrifying than the state of Curse Mark II. This is the change after Sasuke understood Susanoo. If he wants to understand Susanoo, he must raise his chakra to an astonishing level. It is also the so-called chakra concentration, which is a process of qualitative change. The strength of a ninja's strength is also proportional to his chakra amount. Kakashi is a good example. If he is restricted by Sharingan's consumption of chakra all the time, his strength will undoubtedly rise to a higher level. Advertisement. And when Sasuke broke out an astonishing chakra, she in another direction in the main city hall was sensed. Master Raikage. I sensed a strong chakra. If nothing else, it should be Uchiha Sasuke's. Over there? Raikage said hurriedly, it's right below. Sasuke and others sneaked into the main city through an underground cave. Originally, they planned to wait from here. As long as Danzo left the Iron Kingdom, they would follow suit and look for opportunities to kill him. And when Raikage and the others approached here, Aroma Phosphorus also felt it. There are 3 chakras approaching here, and one of them is very powerful. This word just rang in Shanglin's mind, and a loud noise came to her ears. Boom! The top of the cave collapsed, the rocks pierced through the air, and the falling boulders were accompanied by smoke and dust when they fell to the ground. And in the place where the smoke and dust rises, it can be seen vaguely that there are 3 figures standing among them, and a powerful and extremely powerful chakra is also released from it. Before the smoke dissipated by itself, only a strong wind rippling out of it. Taste. The sound of the raging wind is also mixed with another powerful voice, which makes people feel shuddering. Boy, I want you to experience the fear of anger. It was not someone else who was talking, it was Raikage who rushed down from directly above, and the huge hole in the upper wall of the cave was his hand. This familiar way of playing is exactly his usual style. Hearing what Raikage said, Sasuke did not fear at all, but instead aroused his fighting spirit. In his opinion, Raikage is his opponent to test the combat power. Advertisement. With a bang, Sasuke rushed straight out, rushing in the direction of the Raikage trio. Seeing this scene, Shigego from behind cried out worriedly. But it is a pity that Sasuke did not listen to Shigeo's persuasion. He swung the pheasant sword in his hand and slashed it towards Raikage. As Darui displayed the sense wave technique, Sasuke, who was blocked by the water barrier, took advantage of Sharingan 3.4 and immediately reacted. He has gone a long way on the way of the Thunder Attribute Chakra's nature transformation, so it is very difficult to hurt him with lightning-style ninjutsu. Lightning-style sensing wave. Although Darui's series of actions were completed between the electric light and flint, they were still blocked by the grass pheasant sword attached to the Thunder Attribute Chakra in Sasuke's hand. Raiden, he is not too afraid, but this did not end. Darui quickly formed a seal in his hand and performed a ninjutsu again. Seeing this scene, Darui said, "Thank you for reading this story at fictionzone.net. Your support enables us to keep the site running." Before Raikage could fight back, Darui on the side took the lead. "Boss. Sasuke, don't rush over by yourself. Throwing your hand is a trick water-style water barrier. Melting thunder and lightning into the water, this combination of ninjutsu is not a problem at all for Darui." When the long sword met, the offensive was immediately resolved, and Sasuke's body was also blocked in front of the water wall. However, because the blood inheritance limit of his master is the fusion of these 2 escape techniques, it can be easily controlled. It seems that he can use the nature of thunder just like the information we got. Chapter 740 Lightning Phantom Beam, Dangerous. Boss. It seems that he can use the nature of thunder just like the information we got. Hearing what Darui said, she, who was standing on the other side of Raikage, also said. He is also good at fire attributes. If nothing else, he will use fire-style skills soon. Darui, get ready to use the water-style technique. Got it, Darui responded. After hearing what Darui and she said, Shuei couldn't help but say. It seems that Sasuke's information has been leaked out. Hearing the words, Shanglin on the side did not answer Shuei, her eyes were locked on Raikage's body. 26, hey. The one standing between the 2 won't be. Obviously, Shanglin had already guessed a possibility, and Shigego's next words also confirmed her guess. Sasuke, the 2 of them are Jonin from Cloud Shinobi. The big man standing among them is the 4th Raikage of Cloud Shinobi village today. Judging from their behavior and tone just now, they probably won't let me leave easily. When Sasuke confronted Raikage, the samurai of the Iron Kingdom passed the news here. It's time to do it. The curse mark on Jungwoo's body between the words has already appeared, and he knows that there is no way to avoid this battle. Advertisement. Hope. Stop their actions, Darui said. Knowledge. After she responded, there was no procrastination, and her hands quickly formed seals. Immediately afterwards, his whole body turned into electric light, shining on the world. This kind of lightning-style illusion is called Thunder Magic Lightning Pillar. Let yourself become the center of thunder and lightning. Let the opponent mistakenly think that it is the ninjutsu that obstructs the line of sight, so that it is logical to use this illusion, using the cover of strong light to let the enemy enter the illusion without noticing it. This kind of escape illusion is very rare, so its effect is also very significant. And Reikage disappeared in place the second after she finished this illusion. Call out. When he appeared again, he was already in front of Sasuke. His attack didn't have any bells and whistles, it was still a simple punch. But the power contained in this punch is stronger than some ninjutsu. Reikage's physical power is outrageous, and few people in today's ninja world can compete with it. Boom! As a loud noise came out, a deep pit was directly smashed under their feet, and Shigeo, who barely flashed aside, shouted with great worry. Sasuke. Because his vision was blocked, he didn't know what happened to Sasuke. The opponent is Reikage and two Jonin, can he not worry? A second after his shout fell, Sasuke's voice followed. Advertisement. Jongwoo, don't be afraid, this is illusion. As for Shui Yu, she was no longer by her side, because he had already rushed to the battlefield just after he had a premonition. Ziwinyan in the distance had to admit that Sharingan was so powerful that even his illusion skills could be broken in an instant. Even if you see through this as illusion, it's too late. As long as it is affected for a moment, coupled with Reikage's extraordinary speed, ordinary people can't avoid it at all. With the sound of two unused male sounds, Reikage's iron fist and Darui's broadsword were completely blocked. Seeing this scene, the fragrant phosphorus behind shouted. Wen, Kang. Thank you for reading this story at fictionzone.net. Your support enables us to keep the site running. Sharingan is amazing. It was Shigeo's cursed hand that blocked Darui, and Shuei's decapitation sword was blocked by Reikage's iron fist. And the fact is, as Reikage said, even if Sasuke sees through, it is too late to dodge. Reikage's voice rang directly in Sasuke and Shigeo's ears, accompanied by his big fist and Darui's big knife. Sasuke, however, he did not feel disappointed because of this. Instead, the corners of his mouth evoked an arc of joy. If it weren't for the two to show up in time, Sasuke must use his strongest method. The coordination between the three of them is perfect. There is a reason why Hei and Darui will be regarded as left and right hands by Reikage. Chapter 741 Beheaded and Broken. Water and fire are incompatible. When Shuei resisted Reikage's iron fist, it could be said that she used her strength to feed herself. Ming. This big man has so much strength. As soon as Shuei's words fell, Reikage's strength in his hand increased again, and a crack suddenly appeared in the decapitated knife. With a bang, it broke directly. Shuei, who was holding a decapitated knife, was not spared either, and was directly hit by Reikage's iron fist and hit the ground directly. Boom! As a loud noise came out, rubble was splashed in all directions, smoke swept through, and there was an extra pit under Reikage's feet. Shigego and Sasuke also flashed aside safely. As for Suigetsu, he was not in a serious condition. Damn it! My beheading knife is destroyed. If it weren't for me to turn into water, my hands would have been broken long ago. The hands of Shuei between the words were still flowing liquid, and they were slowly returning to flesh. After hearing the words, Shigego on the side said, "The last time I fought 8 Tails Jinchuriki, the knife was cracked." Seeing that Shuei was safe and sound, Reikage was also a little surprised. He didn't expect the latter to have such a special method. The flesh is turned into water. This kind of secret technique is rare. Seeing that the three of Sasuke were safe and sound, the fragrant phosphorus in the distance was wiping his small fist and said inwardly, "Shuei, good job." However, after getting out of danger, Sasuke's first sentence seemed so unkind. "Why do you take your time?" Sasuke's tone was not so strong. Obviously he didn't want to involve Shigego and Suizuki. In his opinion, he has a Susanoo body that is enough to protect himself. Hearing Sasuke's words, Suigetsu was immediately unhappy. Advertisement. We came to rescue you specially. Why are you doing this? Although this fits your style, you still have to distinguish the occasion. After getting along during this period of time, Shui Yu already knew Sasuke's character very well, the latter being a platypus with a hard beak. It's cold outside and hot inside. The knife-mouthed tofu heart is talking about Sasuke. Seeing another enemy with a special method like Shuei, Darui said hurriedly. Hey, feel if there are any of their partners nearby. If anyone else runs out, it will be troublesome. Darui's worry is not unreasonable. Sasuke's combat power is already good, but if the latter has a companion, even if the three of them team up, it will be difficult to capture Sasuke. We must know that from the information they collected, Sasuke defeated the existence of Killer Bee. Hearing Darui's words, Shi Lima exuded his own perception. There should be one more person, but if I concentrate on that person, I won't be able to participate in the battle. I don't need you, it's enough for me and the boss to solve them. Daraus didn't want to show any face, and looked swearing. No wonder he is like this. He is capable of being the elite Jonin of Cloud Shinobi Village. The master has the blood to escape from the limit. His strength is enough to rank in the top 3 in today's Cloud Shinobi Village. At the same time, Shanlin suddenly withdrew her perception at the moment just now, because she was afraid that she would find her position. Well, that guy's perception is so strong. If I continue to search for Danzo, I will be found by the guy named Shi. Suizuki seemed to be aware of this too, and said to Sasuke. We asked Shanlin to look for Danzo's whereabouts, but then there is no way to find it. If the enemy's perception is covered, she can only temporarily withdraw chakra without much combat power. The guy who performs the illusion is a scout-type ninja, as long as you defeat him, Shigego said. Indeed. Sasuke groaned in a low voice. Advertisement. Then leave it to me. When Sasuke and the others were playing fiercely, the atmosphere in the Five Shadows meeting room was also quite tense. At this time, the guard named Shangzuki next to Mifune looked at Ching and asked. Young master, can you please confirm whether Hokage is still using pupil surgery? No, before everyone could make a final confirmation, Danzo took the initiative to admit it. Thank you for reading this story at fictionzone.net. Your support enables us to keep the site running. Ching didn't believe Danzo's words, however, he knew Ching's identity, and the reason why he said so was undoubtedly trying to find an excuse to get rid of it. Obviously, Danzo knew that once this was discovered by Ching, who owns Byakugan, he would basically be unable to hide it. Unexpectedly, someone in other villages would make Byakugan. If it was a traitor to the family of Konoha Shinobi, I would kill him immediately. Also, the manipulation of 4th Mizukage in our village may have something to do with the pupil technique you just performed. It's up to us to judge, because you are a man you can't believe. Hokage, if you do, you will stand up and fight. Don't worry, this pupil technique cannot be used multiple times a day. And he didn't want to expose his secret too much, so he could only admit it actively. Ching responded, and then said, the chakra of his meridian system is not moving now. Obviously, the technique has been unlocked. Danzo said this, but the implication is undoubtedly a warning to Ching. Don't even think about it. As soon as Ching's voice fell, Terumi Mei on the side took the call. Ching is also a person who has seen the world, and all of a sudden, he heard what Danzo meant. You are because I know your secret, so it's all about finding an excuse to get rid of me. Chapter 742 Unify the Ninja World. Anti-General. Hearing Danzo's own illusion, Mifune's eyes became sharp. He never thought that Danzo would dare to perform illusions on him. Master Hokage. Ninjutsu is not allowed in this kind of place, it will affect your credit. If you didn't use this technique, I might have decided that you would lead the coalition forces just now. In other words, the analysis of the 3 ships just now is not unreasonable. If it is the person present who is most suitable to be a coalition commander, it is indeed Konoha's Hokage that is slightly more suitable. As for Danzo, although he is not very good, it should not have a great impact on the entire coalition. The problem is that Danzo not only violated the regulations, but was also discovered. Electing with such an uncertain attitude will cause me trouble. In order to protect the ninja world, I am willing to use any means. This world must be unified. Just like Master First Hokage Hashirama of our village unified the people and created the ninja village, what I want to do now is not only the unity of our village, but the unity of the entire ninja world. And this kind of thing basically cannot be achieved through negotiation. It takes time to do it in an ethical way, and there is no way to change anything. In this way, one day, the ninja world will be destroyed by Akatsuki. Regarding Danzo's remarks, most of the people present did not agree. The first person to express his opinion was Tsuchikage. It takes time to realize the ideal. Anxiety can make people unable to recognize the things around them and cause failure. This is how you are now. It is impossible to achieve this ideal in your way. You personally don't think there is any problem, but the result will still make people unable to trust each other, causing conflict and hatred. Danzo, now even what you say can't be believed. Hearing the words, Danzo's ancient and modern Wubo's face appeared slightly, and he continued to insist. Whether you believe me or not, this is the result I want. At this moment, Gaara couldn't listen anymore. There is no future for such a unified ninja world, such a united person, and conflicts will erupt one day. Let people understand and trust each other is the best way. If you can't do this, then the world will always be shrouded in terror, and it will be hard to disperse in the end. Forced unification without considering the moral way, this is something I cannot accept. Advertisement. After hearing Gaara's words, Tsuchikage said again. You mentioned such a difficult thing so easily. You are a kid who doesn't know how to manage the village. If you want to ask anything, just ask now. We will answer you as a senior. Right, Danzo, the old guy Tsuchikage was also broken, first taught Gaara a lesson, and then dragged Danzo in. Gaara was not angry about Tsuchikage's words, because he was no longer the boy who would be angry when he was upset. Now he is Fengying, the pillar of Sanagakure. His words and deeds represent not only himself, but the entire village. Gaara can ignore it, but Kankuro can't stand it anymore as an older brother. Dead old man, what are you talking about? Kankuro originally wanted to scold Tsuchikage, but was stopped by her sister Tamari. Kankuro, don't be impulsive. He is Tsuchikage, the head of another ninja village. I have to say that Tamari is quite clear about the overall situation, knowing that the current situation cannot conflict with other villages, CGDE. Immediately afterwards, Gaara walked out between the two and spoke slowly. Then I will ask a question. Okay. Tsuchikage, who responded with a faint smile, then said, Boy, we will answer any questions you have. When did you abandon yourself? As soon as Gaara said this, everyone present was a little confused. And Mizukage Terumi Mei looked at the young Gaara and said inwardly, "What an innocent child." Seeing that his grandfather was blocked by Gaara's words, he too did not forget to fall into the stone. "Old man, you have been commanded by an army to shut up." Advertisement Onoki's look at the moment is a bit ugly, obviously because of Gaara's words. Seeing this, the terracotta behind him hurriedly changed the subject. "Master Tsuchikage. What do we do now? Are we going to help Reikage fight?" Before Tsuchikage's voice fell, Tsuchikage was the first to laugh. "Idiot, what if the old man's back pain worsens? But I want to see what Sasuke, who fought against Deidara's brother, looks like. Deidara is the genius ninja of Iwagakure, and he has another identity. He is a disciple of Tsuchikage. To be precise, he is the most proud disciple, but it's a pity that this guy is a freak, always thinking about blasting, thinking about art, so he was expelled from Iwagakure. It's up to you, but if you get involved in Reikage's attack, you can lose your life at any time. Don't do it. As for my grandfather's reminder, there is no hippie smiling face in the dark. Good, Akato, how about you? I'm worried about Master Tsuchikage's waist, so I want to stay by his side." Boring, although Heitu said so, but he did not support the latter to go together. Onoki is his grandfather. Although she is not merciful, she naturally likes the latter to live a long life. Seeing that the black soil wants to go, Tamari asked, "Gaara, what shall we do? Although we have an alliance with Konoha, Uchiha Sasuke is now a member of Akatsuki." Gaara fell into deep thought after hearing this, and then muttered to herself. Uchiha Sasuke. Undoubtedly, Gaara was thinking of the Chunin exam 2 years ago. At that time, the battle between the two of them had yet to come to a result. Chapter 743 The Fire of War is like tea, the thunder is added. When Gaara and others wanted to act, Shing pointed directly at Danzo and said, "The people in Konoha Shinobi village don't move." That's what Reikage-sama said. Hearing this, Aburame took root and Yamanaka Fung immediately assumed a fighting posture, obviously not wanting to fall into a passive situation. When Danzo in the seat saw this, he said, "Wind, take root. Don't be impulsive, let's settle down." No way, Danzo hasn't settled down in Hokage's position now, and he doesn't want to clash with his 5 shadows at this critical time. Especially since the current situation is very unfavorable for him, he can't act rashly at all. When Gaara and his party left the meeting, the battle on Sasuke's side became more and more heated. At this moment, Shigego has entered a complete combat form, and the meat tube behind him is scented with white gas. "Haha, I'm going to kill you." At this moment, Shigeo has become a bit crazy because of his full body curse. Seeing this scene, Darui was immediately shocked. The guy's appearance has changed, but his temperament seems to have changed even more. Concentrate, this guy's chakra is so strong. To be precise, something special. The perception type Shi provided important information to Reikage and Darui from the rear. Shigego finally took the initiative to show the urge to kill. Shuei said with some excitement, because he hadn't seen Shigego like this for a long time. When Sasuke saw Shigego like this, he was a little worried. "Does he know that we are teammates? I should know." Advertisement Shui Yu replied in a serene way. Obviously, he was not sure either. Reikage on the opposite side saw Shigeo, who turned into a rage, and there was no danger at all, but his anger was ignited. "Don't be too arrogant." As soon as Reikage's voice fell, his figure disappeared in place, and when he reappeared, he was already in front of Shigogo. At this speed, Sasuke and Shuei both behind me sighed. Without any accident, Reikage's iron fist directly blasted against the physical shield changed by Shigeo's spell. Bump. Seeing this, Shuei was not far behind. Raising the only general decapitating sword in his hand, he instantly moved to the back of Shi, wanting to get rid of this perceptual ninja first. Darui seemed to be conscious for a long time, and he always paid attention to the movements of Sasuke and Shuei. So the moment Shuei did it, he also did it, and the broad knife he received blocked Shuei's cut in half beheading knife. Kang. Shui Yu stared at Darui, who was in front of her. She couldn't help but glanced at the broad knife in the latter's hand, and praised. "You have a good knife." From Shuei's point of view, weapons that can go head-to-head with the beheading sword are rare, and Darui's hand is undoubtedly one of them. However, it is not its sharpness, but its characteristics, that the beheading sword is awesome. The decapitating knife is an unbreakable knife. He can absorb the iron in the blood of the human body, thereby achieving self-repair. So-called it is called a knife that never breaks. For Shuei's praise, Darui said, "Although your knife is broken, I will not give you this knife. If you are really capable, you can try to take it from my vice-admiral." Laugh. Advertisement Shui Yu laughed, and then said, "Although your knife is good, you still don't have my good hand." For flowers. As a member of the Kirigakure Ghost Lamp clan, Suizuki is naturally very familiar with the characteristics of the 7 ninja swords, because these 7 ninja swords are guarded by their Ghost Lamp clan for generations. Ninja swords will be bestowed only after meeting the right ninja. At the same time, Shigego couldn't resist Reikage's iron fist, and even the meat shield led the people directly into the rock wall behind, and there was a loud noise. Boom. Seeing Reikage's fast speed, Sasuke turned on Sharingan without saying a word and wanted to see through its movements. However, it was scorned by Reikage. "It's useless, Sharingan can't see through my movements." Not to mention Reikage, what he said is indeed the truth. After the fall of 4th Hokage, his speed undoubtedly surpassed the current ninja world. Even Renjuka's Killer Bee is incomparable. Sasuke's Sharingan can only be seen through Killer Bee's movements, but Raikage, which is faster than that, can't penetrate it. This is the answer that Raikage has come up with over the years of confrontation with Sharingan. Under normal circumstances, Sharingan can penetrate, but the problem is that Raikage Master has a unique secret technique to increase speed. He wrapped the whole body with lightning-style chakra to double the reflex activation of the body, and the ordinary Sharingan could not keep up with its speed. Raikage looked at Shigeo, who was smashed into the rock wall by himself, and spit out 6 words contemptuously. Solved one. But the next second, his expression suddenly stagnated. Because the meat shield embedded in the rock wall suddenly changed, from the original shield to a dozen Gaia energy cannons. Chapter 744 The Strongest Spear, the Strongest Shield. As more than a dozen gun muzzles appeared on the rock wall, a crazy laugh came from the wall. Ha ha ha, go to hell you. As this crazy voice fell, the dozen or so muzzles immediately condensed chakra light balls, which looked very similar to the tailed beast bomb. However, such coercion is not the same. Seeing this scene, she from behind also spit out 3 words with great worry. Zero distance. As soon as his voice fell, the countless jet sounds were 3, 5, 3. Puff, bang, bang, puff, bang, bang. Due to the fact that there is too much energy, the sight of everyone present is affected to a certain extent. In the next second, everyone heard loud noises. Boom, 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 boom. At the beginning, the sound of being hit by the rock wall, and then the sound of the rock falling and falling, brought up billowing smoke and dust during the period. What kind of freak is that guy? I was hit by Master Raikage's attack. Not only did he not die, but he could also counterattack. She whispered while holding both hands on the facade. Although he knows that his Raikage is very strong, when he sees the latter being overwhelmed by energy, there is a slight slack in his spirit. Advertisement, but Sasuke seized this opportunity and launched an illusion technique on it. This illusion, they actually used their companions as bait, and I accidentally recruited, damn it. At this point, Zai's spirit seemed a little scattered, standing still on the spot, and then slowly falling down. Seeing something abnormal in himself, Darui hurriedly shouted. Hey, why are you lying down? Get up. At the same time, Shigeo, who rushed out of the rock wall, laughed wildly again. Ha ha ha, I killed him. Which one is next? The heavy gaze between the words swept over everyone. Sashuewi was once suspicious that this guy recognized them? Seeing this scene in the distance, Shanlin couldn't help but muttered. I didn't expect that fellow Jungo would be quite useful. Well, that perceptual ninja was hit by Sasuke's illusion, and now my position will not be detected, so I can find out Danzo's position now. However, in the next second, an amazing scene appeared. I saw that the curse that was still laughing out loud was imprinted with Shigego, and was knocked off by a sudden lightning bolt. After the thunder light dissipated, everyone saw what it was just now that blasted Jongu away. Advertisement at that time, as the third Raikage, he bought enough time to protect the retreat of the Cloud Shinobi tribe. One person blocked the 100,000 army of the land of the earth. After fighting for 3 days and 3 nights, he finally died of exhaustion. Perceiving the electric current flowing in the body and the numbness, Raikage, an expert of lightning style, thought of something in an instant. That was a person. It was Raikage, who was previously overwhelmed by the energy cannon. This shows that the power of third Raikage is beyond doubt. Heavy flow. Upon seeing this, Sasuke directly focused on Raikage. ZZ. Use lightning style technique to strengthen the power and piercing stab attack, the same trick as Hitaki Kakashi. Taste. Thank you for reading this story at fictionzone.net. Your support enables us to keep the site running. Facing Sasuke's powerful ninjutsu, Raikage finally used his first physical skill. That's Sasuke's master ninjutsu, Chidori. The daddy in Raikage's mouth is the third Raikage, a man who can be 50-50 with 8 tails, a ninja with the strongest spear and the strongest shield. Sasuke's Chidori directly inserted into Raikage's body, but did not penetrate it, which can be as strong as the latter's body. I saw Sasuke's left hand flickering thunderlight, silver snakes flying, making the harsh sounds of birds. I can stab me protected by lightning-style armor. This is really amazing. At this time, the latter looked unscathed, which was what made Shuei and others surprised. Or 3.4, it's because my lightning-style armor technique hasn't been cultivated to the height of the old man. Chapter 745 Thunder. Susanoo. Seeing that Sasuke's proud Chidori only caused this damage to Raikage, Shuei, who was in the fierce battle with Darui, also gritted his teeth. Damn it, is there no chance of winning? In his opinion, if even Sasuke can't beat Raikage, it is even more impossible for them who are weaker than Sasuke. Yes, Sasuke is dead. Darui directly affirmed Shuei's words, and then the two of them were confronted with each other. Kang. Dang. 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 At the same time, Sasuke was directly clasped by Raikage's hands and held it high above his head, looking at the posture as if he was about to slam it on the ground. With Raikage's domineering and unparalleled strength, if Sasuke completely withstands the blow, even if he is not dead, he will fall apart. Thunder! I explode. Boom. 26 as a loud noise came out, the whole earth trembled, and at this time the ground under Raikage's feet was already cracked. Boulders protruded, rubble was splashed, and smoke and dust swept in all directions. Seeing this scene, Shueyu and Shanlin were both shocked, their expressions full of worry, and Darui said to Shueyu loudly. See, he's done. Advertisement with the voice Raikage. The broad knife in Darui's hand flashed with thunder, and it directly set the water and moon on the rock wall with a single knife. Obviously, his strength is slightly better than Shui Yu. The warrior of the Iron Kingdom in the distance came back to his senses and was also secretly surprised. That's Raikage's physical skills. It seems that Sasuke is finished, there is no need for reinforcements. But the next second, Raikage's expression changed. Because he hugged Sasuke to the ground. Sasuke was still in his mouth at this moment. He thought he had solved the latter, but the problem was that he found that Sasuke at this moment was intact. Can this not surprise him? Immediately afterwards, an extremely powerful chakra emerged from Sasuke's body, and then condensed bones to form a small skeleton. Needless to say, that is Susanoo. Sasuke was able to survive Raikage's thunder explosion unscathed by Susanoo's pervert. At this moment, Sasuke took advantage of the Thunder Shadow clone and kicked his arms with his legs, and then got out of his control. Looking at Sasuke's six-pointed star Sharingan, Raikage seemed to understand something. Is that Mangekyo Sharingan? At this moment, Raikage also didn't want to have any reservations, and directly increased the activation of the body to a higher level. The big khaki-backed head was straight upside down, and the roots were thunderous. After Darui defeated Shuei, the fighting stopped temporarily, and he immediately came to the side of Shi, who had been hit by the illusion, trying to rescue him from it. Advertisement, however, Shi deserves to be Cloud Shinobi's Jonin, who has managed to break free from the illusion with her own ability, but his body is still a little stiff. If it is a general illusion, it is not just that, but the problem is that Sasuke was activated with Mangekyo at the time. Darui hurriedly asked when he saw this. Hey, are you okay? It's okay. She responded with a reply, and then said, it's just that I lost to him in the illusion spell with him before, and now my body is still a little unwilling to do so. Sometimes this kind of genius will appear. I have followed Raikage for so many years, and I haven't seen anyone who can survive that trick, and what is that bone? Seeing Sasuke no problem, Suigetsu and Shanlin were also relieved. The samurai of the Iron Kingdom saw that Sasuke was already alive and chaotic, and immediately surrounded him with the reinforcements that came. When Sasuke turned slightly to the side, Darui noticed a little. Hey, don't you see Uchiha Sasuke's eyes are different from just now? Then is that Mangekyo Sharingan in the rumor? So, it's no wonder that Lord Raikage will activate himself into that appearance. He wants to use the ultimate instant technique to deal with Sasuke. With the outbreak of Raikage chakra, the fragrant phosphorus in the dark was also shocked. The big chakra has become so powerful, it's almost a fight with the tail beast. As the situation on Sasuke's side was getting hotter, Obito quietly approached Naruto, and he wanted to provoke Naruto to leave the village. In this way, he has a chance to get 9 tails. Chapter 746 Obito Strikes, 6 Paths Secret. Konoha, Dead Forest. In order to improve his strength, Naruto continues to temper his Sage Mode here. The purpose is to extend the time of Sage Mode. Besides him, there are 2 people here, namely Kakashi and Yamato. Today's Kakashi has gotten a glimpse of the threshold of Sage Mode after the battle with Pen, and now all he has to do is familiarize himself with this mode. As for Yamato, he is still short of the fire. Although he has the blessing of first Hokage cells, this is only an additional condition. The most important thing is to rely on himself. While Naruto was resting in a wooden house built by Yamato, a figure appeared silently by the window. The latter sat on it and said slowly, Swirl Naruto, we finally meet. Threaded mask. You are. After Naruto let out a startled sound, he didn't hesitate in the slightest. The backhand was Rasengan. Boom. Although Rasengan destroyed half of the roof of the house, he did not hurt Obito at all. This is where Obito is powerful. Kamui Space suddenly resorted to Rasengan. It's a pity, this trick is useless to me. As soon as Obito's voice fell, the trees in the wooden house suddenly gathered and began to spread, and the next moment was to wrap Obito. This is wood style, and it was Yamato who started it. Naruto used Rasengan to cause such a big movement that he, as Jonin, couldn't notice it. Naruto, don't move. Obviously, Yamato also guessed the identity of this person. Advertisement, the threaded mask on the latter's face and the black-red cloud robe on his body all told them a message. The man in front of him was the masked man in Tokugawa's mouth, a member of Akatsuki who claimed to be Uchiha Madara. At the same time Yamato's shot, Kakashi has also appeared. Kakashi had already appeared behind Obito at this time, and even Sharingan was exposed. This shows his fear of masked men. Perceiving this, Obito said lightly. As expected of Sharingan Hitaki Kakashi, it's so fast. I won't let you start Naruto easily, Uchiha Madara. He learned from the information relayed by Shiyu that the masked man in front of him is probably Uchiha Madara, who was the most powerful person in those days. You just heard what I said, all attacks can't hurt me, Uchiha Madara. Obito confessed. Kakashi's eyes became sharper. Are you really Uchiha Madara? Obviously, for this result, Kakashi has not made a final conclusion, because he is also a materialist. He will be skeptical until it is fully confirmed. I don't know whether you let your body disappear or become a spirit body, but if you want to arrest someone, you have to materialize. Otherwise, you can't take Naruto away. Yamato's analysis is very reasonable. Indeed, there are only these 2 possibilities. The body disappears, or it becomes a spiritual body. Although they have not seen the body disappearance technique with their own eyes, they have heard of the existence of this technique, and the transformation into a spirit body Konoha has also experienced it. That is Kato Dan's spiritualization technique. Now that I have laid a net of heaven and earth, as long as I use the characteristics of your technique, you will never want to succeed. Obito smiled slightly when he heard Yamato's words. Advertisement, laugh. I didn't come here to think that I could easily succeed. I also have my plan, but I just want to talk to you now. Talk? Kakashi muttered and then said, what can we talk to you? In fact, there is no other way, everything is fate. That's not important at all. Since I want to mention Sasuke, I have to talk about Itachi. As for the truth in Obito's words, the three of Kakashi, good Jows, have already known it. Sasuke Obito simply repeated the truth of Itachi and Kakashi's trio, which made them feel that Itachi was a little pitiful, but a little stupid. I just want to know what caused Pain Nagato to betray me, Naruto. I became interested in you. Obito stared at Naruto. You deceived Sasuke, right, and pulled him into the Akatsuki organization. This is the truth about Uchiha Itachi. He died for Sasuke and Konoha Shinobi Village. That's right, that's the hate curse Chen that has continued from the ancestor of the ninja who was called Sage of Six Paths a long time ago. Even if it is for the village, you can't kill your parents or the people who support you by yourself. And Sasuke did not choose how to inherit Itachi's will, because he does not have the mind of Itachi, so now he has become an avenger. But Obito didn't know this. Thank you for reading this story at fictionzone.net. Your support enables us to keep the site running. This is the fate of the bloody hatred of the Uchiha clan. This seems to be a curse that has lasted a long time ago. Anyway, they can't do this kind of thing. Now he has only one purpose, and that is to avenge the Konoha Shinobi village who put the Uchiha clan and Itachi to a dead end. Obito smiled faintly, and then said, well, let me tell you something, this should give you a deeper understanding of him. Chapter 747 Fairy Legend, A Battle of Destiny. Sage of Six Paths? Kakashi murmured, and then said, that's just a myth, isn't it? Samsara is only caused by some kind of mutation. Although Kakashi and the others always thought that Shiba was likely to be the reincarnation of Sage of Six Paths, it was just a horrible metaphor for Toba pervert. The so-called Sage of Six Paths has always only existed in the legend, no one can confirm whether he exists in the end. Some myths are also spread based on facts, and Sage of Six Paths is one of them. Obito denied Kakashi's point of view and continued, in the past, Sage of Six Paths promoted Ninzong in an attempt to make the world peaceful, so Sage of Six Paths decided to entrust the power and will of Ninzong to the two children. My brother was born with the eyes of the immortal, that is, chakra and spiritual power. My brother discovered that to achieve peace, we must rely on strength. The younger brother has inherited the immortal body, that is, the vitality and the energy of the body. The younger brother discovered that to achieve peace, it must rely on love. Sage of Six Paths did not pass on the position of the heir to his eldest son after learning about the thoughts of the two children, because he believed that the younger brother who pursued love was more qualified to be the heir. 380. So, he chose his younger brother. My brother thought that as the eldest son, he would definitely become the heir, but the final result made him unacceptable. The brother who couldn't accept the result hated his younger brother and went to fight with it. As time goes by, although the blood relationship has become less and less obvious, the children and grandchildren of the two brothers continue to clash and fight. The older brother's descendants are the later Uchiha clan, while the younger brother's descendants are the later Senju clan. My battle between Uchiha Madara and first Hokage Senju Hashirama was also destined. When Obito said this, the Kakashi trio were in a daze. They obviously didn't expect such an incredible thing to happen. But as for whether this kind of thing is true, they can't tell. Swirl Naruto, although this is the first time I have met you. But I know that Senju's will of fire, CGDE, resides in your heart, and I can basically be sure that first Hokage is in your heart now. Advertisement, although he is dead now, his will is still alive. He is the object of my admiration, the opponent of my life, and the most painful man for me. Your mother, the Uzumaki clan and the Senju clan of first Hokage are distant relatives. Your ancestors are inherited from the same bloodline. Therefore, you are also the descendants of the youngest son of Sage of Six Paths. Senju and Uchiha, the will and hate of fire. Naruto and Sasuke, you two are the ones chosen by fate. Naruto, you will fight Sasuke one day. No, I will let Sasuke come and fight you. In the long battle of fate, I will let Sasuke prove the existence of the Uchiha clan. Naruto would never believe these words that could be heard. Stop talking nonsense, Sasuke won't listen. In Naruto's view, only Shio is there, so he doesn't have to worry about these things, worrying that the words of the face will come true. Naruto, do you want Sasuke to change his mind like Nagato? I tell you, you are wishful thinking. To control a person, you need to have the skills to use the darkness in the other person's heart. Nagato is just a child who is easily influenced by others. Although his approach is wrong, he still wants to hope from the bottom of his heart that the world will usher in peace, but you are different. Everything you do is so ridiculous, because you can't change the real situation at all. Hearing this, Kakashi couldn't listen anymore, it's ridiculous. If your purpose is to prove this, then why collect tail beasts? Advertisement, what is your purpose? What do you want to do? As this, Obito paused, and then said, it can be said that it has become a complete body. Perfectly. Kakashi said. What do you mean? Yamato said. Naruto looked dumbfounded. It's no use telling you, I will tell you on a better occasion. The conversation with you is really interesting, goodbye. As Obito's voice fell, his whole body began to twist. It disappeared in the next second, as if he had never appeared here. Damn it, this technique again. After hearing Yamato's words, Naruto subconsciously said. Kakashi, His technique seems to be a bit similar to Kamui of Yu and Toki. Naruto didn't say anything. Kakashi felt very similar to him. Is his master's Mangekyo pupil technique the same as ours? At this moment, Kakashi thought that since he had the same pupil technique in the same space as Toki, then the masked man in front of him would naturally be fine. It would be great if Shiyu was there, we can ask him, and even just leave this man who calls himself Uchiha Madara. From Naruto's words, he can hear his admiration and belief in Shiyu. Even if he knows that the masked man just now is likely to be Uchiha Madara, who is comparable to first Hokage in the legend, he still feels that Shiyu has the strength to keep him. Not only Naruto thinks so, but even Kakashi and Yamato have similar thoughts. It's just that their success rate is not as high as Naruto's. Chapter 748 Inferno-Style Amaterasu. Inferno-Style Amaterasu. After Obito left the Death Forest, the battle on the Iron Kingdom also entered a white-hot stage. Sasuke has already used Susanoo's super strong hole card. After fighting against Raikage for dozens of rounds, Sasuke also knows the power of Raikage. He knows that if he continues to fight with physical skills, he will definitely lose in the end. So, he started to use pupil technique. Up there is Amaterasu. In his opinion, only this move can make Occupy reversed. He defeated the beast-tailed killer bee with this technique. Sasuke's eyes locked on Raikage, and the black flame appeared out of thin air. However, naturally, Raikage is not a waiter. When Sasuke opened Mangekyo Sharingan, he was extremely cautious. Previously, I did not hesitate to spend a lot of chakra to increase the activation of the body to a terrible level. The purpose is to deal with Sasuke's pupil technique. As predicted, with Raikage's superb movement speed, at the second he noticed something wrong, he moved ahead of time. It's just that because the speed was too fast, it left an afterimage in the original place. This is hard to detect even for Mangekyo Sharingan, because the two happened almost at the same time. When Sasuke cast Amaterasu, Raikage had already moved. When the black flame appeared, Raikage's real body was no longer in place. Raikage was able to avoid Amaterasu with super fast speed, but the Iron Kingdom samurai behind him couldn't. The next second when Raikage drew away, the samurai was hit by a killer. Oh! Seeing that his companion was hit by Amaterasu and screamed, the Iron Country warrior beside him yelled. Hurry up and put out the fire, but soon they found something was wrong. One of them was humane. This is no ordinary fire, don't come near. Seeing this scene, she seemed to know what this pupil technique was. Advertisement. The pupil technique that can ignite the target by looking at the target, this is Amaterasu. With regard to Amaterasu's pupil technique, he knew some information from Itachi himself, plus the information obtained from Konoha, only to know that Mangekyo Sharingan had this ability. Sasuke and Itachi are brothers, and it is reasonable for them to have similar pupil skills. Raikage saw Sasuke's Amaterasu, his expression also condensed. Directly leaning close to Sasuke, he shot him first. Lateral bolt of pain. Focusing the lightning style on your hand and splitting the opponent with a knife, this is Raikage's combat method, the perfect combination of ninjutsu and physique. For Raikage's instant attack, Sasuke knew that he couldn't avoid it, so he didn't even think about it. Because he has Susanoo, moreover, he has also thought of a countermeasure. I saw that he directly controlled Amaterasu's flame attached to his Susanoo, forming a black fire skeleton defense. Seeing this scene, she in the distance was shocked. Is he controlling the black flame? I can still change the shape. Is he better at manipulating black flames than Itachi? This was completely unexpected. Itachi's Tensho is known as the Ninja World, but what he didn't expect was that Sasuke's use of Amaterasu was even more powerful than a peerless genius like Itachi. But in fact, his guess was wrong. The reason why Sasuke can control Amaterasu's shape changes is entirely because of the ability of his other eye. Inferno-style flame control. Because this technique can control the form of Amaterasu, it is called Inferno-style. Seeing the fragrant phosphorus in the distance, he would praise it. Sasuke is still smart and knows how to use Amaterasu to make a flame shield. Since the eyes can't keep up with Raikage's instantaneous speed, just create a shield that the enemy dare not touch. For flowers. Advertisement. In this way, Raikage will not be able to attack him easily. However, the next scene stunned everyone. Don't underestimate me. In the words, Raikage's fist directly bombarded the black flame bone escape made by Sasuke. This scene was undoubtedly beyond everyone's expectations. For Raikage's choice, only Darui and she can understand. Guillotine drop. Master Raikage, he is still, she said. Because they know that the latter is such a person, there is nothing to restrict him, even if it is to pay a heavy price. Upon seeing this, Sasuke could only use his best to mobilize chakra in his body, using the ability of his other Mangekyo Sharingan. Focus the lightning-style chakra on the feet and kick the opponent from top to bottom. But he, who is arrogant in his heart, is naturally unable to confide the truth. Thank you for reading this story at fictionzone.net. Your support enables us to keep the site running. But in the next second, Raikage's attack touch was not a retreat formed by black flames, but khaki sand. At this moment, Sasuke's eyes and mouth Kakuzu was coughing up blood. He just didn't show the stronger stage of Susanoo, and was directly hit by Raikage's super punch. Although it did not cause fatal trauma, it was inevitable that minor injuries were inevitable. In his opinion, this technique combined with his next stage of Susanoo's defense can definitely block Raikage's attack. This scene made everyone stunned. Especially at this moment, Raikage's offensive became more and more fierce, and he began to admire the man in front of him who was desperate for his brother. Husband. Although it's surprising, this is the Reikage we admire, Darui said between the words, with both astonishment and admiration on his face. Reikage fell to the ground with a punch, and then the whole person leapt in the air, kicking out with an overbearing aura. Inferno-style Susanoo. Chapter 749 Indestructible Flame. The Root of Hatred. Sand. This is, when the sand that appeared out of thin air blocked Reikage's ultimate move. Sasuke already had a guess in his mind. That was his former opponent, Sand Waterfall Gaara. With the appearance of Gaara, Temari and Kankuro also appeared on the stage, and I saw that Temari appeared as a trick to the Itachi technique. Her target was the warrior of the Iron Kingdom. The latter was wearing heavy armor. Although he was ignited by Amaterasu, there was still salvation. She cut the heavy rope of the samurai with an extremely accurate move, and then Kankuro directly used the chakra thread to remove all the pieces of heavy armor from her body, and the black flame attached to the 390 also went along with it. Looking at the black flames on the pieces of heavy armor he controlled, Kankuro also muttered to himself. This is the fire Amaterasu that will never disappear. Although Amaterasu's pupil technique is extremely difficult to avoid, it can be avoided by taking off foreign objects in time. After the commanding warrior was saved, other warriors around immediately came forward to express their condolences. Master Yuanying, are you okay? Ming. The leader named Yuanying let out a sigh of relief, and before he could speak, Gaara's voice rang. The samurai of the Iron Kingdom leave, this is the problem of the ninja world. You warriors don't need to die in such a place. Seeing Gaara, one of the 5 shadows, actually helped Sasuke, this scene made Shuei and the others very puzzled. This is how the same thing. Advertisement. Upon seeing this, Reikage asked Gaara, regardless of whether his arm was still being corroded by the fire of Amaterasu. Feng Ying, why are you bothering me? If your answer makes me unsatisfied, I won't let you go. If you continue to attack, the black flame will continue to hurt your body. This is the explanation given by Gaara. Also, I want to talk to Uchiha Sasuke, humph. Reikage snorted coldly, and then cut off the arm burned by Amaterasu directly in everyone's stunned eyes. I have to say, Reikage is a ruthless person. Hey, hurry up and help the boss stop the bleeding. Darui faced Zaidao beside him, who was a perceptual ninja and a medical ninja who was good at illusion. He can become Reikage's right and left hand, it doesn't make sense. While trying to help Reikage heal, Darui was silently thinking about it. The guy named Uchiha Sasuke was able to hurt the Reikage-sama wrapped in lightning-style armor. He was alive after hitting 2 tricks. It's an amazing guy. As for she, through her own observations, she already knows the 2 abilities of Sasuke Mangekyo Sharingan. The left eye is Amaterasu, and the right eye has the ability to change the shape of Amaterasu's black flame. This speculation should be correct. Mr. Killer Bee may have been captured by Sasuke. There are indeed geniuses in every age in the ninja world. At the same time, Gaara's gaze has already shifted from Reikage to Sasuke, and after a long silence, she finally speaks. Advertisement, Uchiha Sasuke, your eyes seem to be the same as before, but I always feel that he seems to be different now. We used to have the same look in our eyes. If we want to pursue power, we only have hatred and killing intent in our eyes. Now your killing intent and hatred still exist, but there seems to be something more in it. I personally felt revenge as the power to survive, but then I realized that there was no way to solve anything. Listen to my advice, now it's too late to return when you get lost. Don't be controlled by the hatred in front of you. It's time to escape from the lonely world. For Gaara, Sasuke asked, if I come back, what else is there? Upon seeing it, Sasuke didn't listen at all, and Kankuro on the side couldn't stand it anymore. Gaara, don't say anything. If you can convince this guy, Toki and Naruto will not fail. Now he has completely fallen, and he has become a member of the Akatsuki organization, which is different from us. It's 3.4, Gaara. Temari agreed, took the conversation, and said. Reikage and those who were attacked by Akatsuki will not sit back and watch. He has become an internationally wanted criminal when he attacked the 5 Shadows talks. All in all, he is dead now. Hearing this, Gaara's eyes sparkled with crystals, and then a teardrop rolled down with his voice. I see. The voice fell, and the sand behind him suddenly exploded. There is no doubt that he will also take Sasuke. Chapter 750 Each has a ghost, 1 enemy 4. Just when Gaara was preparing to join the war, Xianglin happened to find Danzo's position. However, she also sensed that there are many powerful chakras around her, a little bit weaker than Reikage, which made her very worried. When the fragrant phosphorus felt it, it was discovered by she. Both are perceptual ninjas. If one party unscrupulously spreads his mental power, he will inevitably be sensed by the other party. There are sentient ninjas in Uchiha Sasuke's team. At this moment, not only he confirmed the matter, but even Yamanaka Kase, who was guarding Danzo's side, was aware of it, because he was also a perceptual ninja. Master Danzo. It seems that there are sentient ninjas among the enemies. They may come here at that time. What should I do? Hearing that Danzo didn't panic at all, I don't know whether it is his confidence in his own strength, or what he is making. It's okay. When they come, we will leave in the chaos. Danzo knew that he couldn't do anything to control the exposure of Mifune with illusion, so he didn't plan to stay here anymore. Seeing Yamanaka Feng and Danzo whispering to each other, Ching, who was monitoring Danzo and others, spoke. Hokage, please don't talk secretly. I am also a perceptual ninja, so I have long sensed that the enemy already knows that we are here. It can be seen from this that Ching's strength is above the Yamanaka wind. Especially she has Byakugan as a support. But even so, you can't act rashly. Advertisement. Just stay here, the enemy will let me deal with it. Looking at the changes in the current situation, Tsuchikage secretly said in his heart. This meeting is really getting more and more interesting. At the same time, on the other side, Sasuke has already played against Gaara, and Sasuke has always had a problem with this opponent who had not decided the outcome 2 years ago. Up is Amaterasu in absolute defense, Noisy, Russell. In a simple confrontation, the two only had a trial. Moreover, Gaara's sand can be said to be Amaterasu's nemesis, he can perfectly defend against the Black Flame. Seeing this scene, Sasuke was also a little surprised. Unexpectedly, Inferno-style technique would be blocked. Your absolute defense is still so strong. Gaara was silent for Sasuke's praise, and the Black Soil spied in secret is extremely excited because he likes this kind of scene the most. That's so awesome. When Raikage saw this scene, he was very anxious because he didn't want to give Sasuke any chance to breathe. Hey, isn't it okay? Advertisement. To be honest, he can get Sasori's body, and thanks to Shiyu, if Shiyu defeats Sasori, how can he get such a good puppet? Land done laser circus. Sighed Itachi, because it was made with Sasori's body, it was named after the Red Secret Technique. Here, Kankuro's Red Secret Technique and Sasori's are not used by one, but a puppet technique he created with Sasori's body, which can emit a lot of kunai in an instant. After hearing Kankuro's response, Darui didn't talk nonsense, and directly used his blood to follow the boundary. The first wave of attacks was initiated by me, and you are responsible for the subsequent attacks. Seeing that she was still treating Raikage's injuries, Darui, one of Raikage's left and right hands, stood up. Master Raikage, it's almost done. Red Secret Triangle. This blood succession limit is a combination of lightning style and water style ninjutsu. From the combined hands, it uses water vaporized into multiple powerful lasers to penetrate the opponent, possessing the destructive power of thunder and the control power of 390 of water. And has an inducing effect in the face of the combined offensive of 4 powerful enemies. Sasuke was alarmed, but still fearless. Thank you for reading this story at fictionzone.net. Your support enables us to keep the site running. When Darui performed this technique, Temari, Kankuro and Gaara followed closely. Nothing else, just because he has Susanoo, Sand Shinobi, we help you. Good. Refining Sand Showers, Chapter 751 Absolute Defense, 3rd Form. Boom. When Gaara, Temari, Kankuro, and Darui's attacks landed on Sasuke's place, billowing smoke suddenly rose up, completely covering the world. In this scene, I was very careful when I watched Phosphorus and Shuei. As for Shigego, it is still unknown whether they're caught in the runaway, let alone worrying about Sasuke. Before the smoke was gone, Gaara's eyes condensed. They thought they felt a powerful chakra in the smoke and dust. That chakra was a little special, as if it could affect people's minds. Undoubtedly, this is a manifestation of the power of God. In other words, only Indra's reincarnations have a special power, which is an evil power. After a while, as the smoke slowly dissipated, a huge skeleton covering the meridians appeared in everyone's field of vision. Needless to say, that is Susanoo's 3rd form. For this form, Shuei and Shanglin had already seen it, and that was what Sasuke had realized in the desperate battle with Killer Bee. However, Sasuke is now more proficient in the mastery of this form. He was able to comprehend this form, and he couldn't be separated from Itachi. Because Itachi had already told Sasuke the secret of this ninjutsu before he died, so the rest can only rely on savvy and potential. Want to condense this huge chakra into one form? This is not something that ordinary ninjas can do. Advertisement. Why are some weak people unable to change the form of Master Escape? The answer is simple, not enough talent. Take Naruto as an example. In order to change the Master's Wind attribute, he used multiple shadow clone to practice for several days before he barely learned it. It can be seen that this kind of thing has a very big connection with talent. At this time, Sasuke stared at Gaara and said unceremoniously, Gaara, this is an absolute defense even stronger than you. Although Sasuke pretended to be compelling, there was nothing wrong with what he said. There is no doubt that Susanoo is better than Gaara's sand in defense. Seeing Susanoo reappearing, Raikage said, my attack was blocked by that thing? Shi Wenyan, who was treating him on the side, turned his head to look and thought about it in his heart. This chakra is the same as that of the illusion, with this kind of oppression related to fertility. As an illusion grandmaster, Shi will lose to Sasuke in the illusion competition not because his illusion ability is not as good as Sasuke, but Sasuke master's illusion skills are worse than him. It was an illusion technique blessed by Mangekyo's Sharingan, and Shi naturally had no way to resist it. According to Itachi, only people with equivalent pupil power can stop it. Seeing that Sasuke could use this technique proficiently, the face of Shuei, who was fixed on the rock by Darui, also showed a smile. Advertisement. What a terrible technique. At the same time, Jungo, who was blasted by Raikage's punch, finally recovered from the runaway at this moment, but now he is extremely vain. Moreover, there is a huge depression in the left chest. Needless to say, it was caused by Raikage's iron fist. Is this the technique that Sasuke just wanted to try? It seems that after a battle with 8 Tails Renjuka, he is now proficient in this technique of the master. Both he and Shanglin can feel this chakra is very cold, giving people a shuddering feeling. Therefore, the previous Gaara and other talents will feel a sense of oppression coming from the smoke and dust. And the Iron Country samurai who hadn't seen Susanoo were extremely shocked, and they were all talking, good promise. Damn it, what is that? This guy hides such a powerful technique. Gaara stared at Susanoo in the third form condensed outside Sasuke for a moment and said slowly. This is the power of darkness. For everyone's astonishment and fear, Sasuke's voice resounded again in the broken space. This is the power that only people who have both eyes open, Mangekyo, can get, that is, the third power. It's called Susanoo. Chapter 752 One Sword-Splitting Void, Ruined Ruins. It's called Susanoo. After hearing Sasuke's answer, Gaara, Temari and Kankuro also whispered. Susanoo. This is Mangekyo Sharingan. The true Go of the Uchiha clan will hide something every time. At this moment, she, who is a perception-type ninja, seemed to perceive something and shouted to Gaara and the others from the air. Darui, everyone of Sunagakure, step back temporarily. When his voice fell, Sasuke had once again improved Susanoo's form. Although there was still an armor form that reached the 4th level, it had already begun to take shape. I saw that Susanoo at this moment, under the control of Sasuke, had already condensed a chakra sword. There is no nonsense, just swipe it directly, taste. But to everyone's astonishment, Sasuke's chakra taito slashed on the stone pillar supporting this place. Originally they hadn't made a mistake by Sasuke, but in the next second they knew that it was Sasuke deliberately doing 397, and his goal was the pillar. As the pillars were cut off by Sasuke, the ceiling of the underground palace became a little unsupportable. Card. Boom. 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 As the giant column rolled down and the ceiling cracked, various sounds began to echo in everyone's ears. Upon seeing this, Gaara immediately opened the sand curtain to cover the falling rocks. Advertisement in the water moon, which was set on the rock wall by Darui's thunder attribute chakra knife, fell down at this moment, and even the incense phosphorus hidden in the dark was no exception. Just when they were about to land, Sasuke used Susanoo to catch any of them. No way, he has only one hand available now, and the other hand is still holding a knife. In relative terms, aromatic phosphorus and Shuei are naturally more important than the former. First, Shanlin is Shiba's woman, and Sasuke naturally wants to help. Second, Shuei is strong, and it will be fine if you drop a glue. Third, and the most realistic question, who is called Shuei is a man. But the reason why Sasuke did this is obviously that he didn't intend to waste time here, he was going directly to Danzo. Now that his trace has been exposed, there is no need to hide it. Otherwise, when Danzo sneaks back to Konoha, he will have to spend some time to go to Konoha to make trouble. Furthermore, if we continue to fight with Gaara and his party, the situation will become more and more unfavorable for him. After all, he is not one-to-one, but one-to-many. Once chakra is exhausted, let alone find Danzo for revenge, it is still unknown whether it can slip away from Gaara and the others. After bringing out Fragrant Phosphorus, Suigetsu and Shigogo, Sasuke turned to Fragrant Phosphorus Road. Do you know where Danzo is? Understood. Well. Sasuke replied softly, and then said to Suigetsu, who was a little paralyzed by lightning style. Shuei, your consumption, CGDE, is great, and Changwu was seriously injured again. You two don't have to follow, let's leave first. When I finish the matter, I will look for you again. Advertisement. After some arrangements, Sasuke left with Shanlin. It can be seen from this that Sasuke has not become as cold-blooded and ruthless as in the original, regardless of when his teammates are injured. The reason for this is because of one person, he is Shiyu. It was he who gave Sasuke the warmth, and he told the fact that Sasuke Itachi was not dead, which made Sasuke not fall into darkness. After Sasuke and Shanlin left, Raikage and the others just came out of the ruins. Boom. There was a blast, and Raikage rushed out of the ruined ruins with his powerful body. As for Darui and others, they were all protected by Gaara's sand. The only thing that was not spared was a group of warriors of the Iron Kingdom. They were not ninjas, and they were basically unable to fight back in the face of such a sudden disaster. Sasuke actually didn't want to kill the innocent. When these people and warriors came to deal with him, Sasuke kindly reminded them to retreat. They didn't listen, and Sasuke couldn't help it. When Gaara removed the sand, Darui thanked him. Master Fengying, thank you very much. Although Gaara is younger than him, Fengying is the one who called others, and now the latter has saved him. The respect he deserves is still needed. Sasuke seems to have escaped. Kankuro observed the surroundings and said. He seems to be going up, she said. Catch up, I must kill him. Raikage said angrily, and then disappeared the ruins with Darui and Shi. Chapter 753 Blood Following Lava Style, Double Blade Flounder Butterfly. 5 Shadows Conference Room. Just when Sasuke and Aroma were about to arrive here, Mist Shinobi Zao and Konoha's Yamanaka winds were sensed one after another. Coming, above, as soon as these words came out, everyone looked. Next second, a cold and solemn sound and shadow came into their eyes, and the latter was standing upside down on the ceiling at this time. It is Sasuke. Upon seeing this, the 3 ship as the local owner moved first. Without any nonsense, he pulled out the saber from his waist and rushed directly to fight Sasuke. Facing the attack of Admiral, the Iron Country, Mifune, Sasuke did not dare to take it lightly. When, seeing that Sasuke could easily block his attack, Mifune's eyes also showed a touch of astonishment, and 2 words were spit out in his mouth. Great. When Sasuke and Mifune fought, the 3 Danzo directly escaped from the previous Raikage through the hole in the wall. Shanlin felt this situation and immediately shouted to Sasuke. Sasuke. Danzo has escaped. Ching heard this and immediately said, Mizukage-sama, Chonjuro, you stay here, I will chase Danzo. The talk is not over yet, I must get him back, I know, but don't go after it. Terumi Mei reminded him. In his opinion, Danzo can be appointed as Hokage. Naturally, he has some abilities. Previously, he used Shisui's Sharingan as the best proof. Advertisement. Furthermore, there are 2 strong guards beside him. When Ching left the Five Shadows meeting room to chase Danzo, Sasuke also wanted to follow him. Fragrant phosphorus, come with me. However, just when Sasuke and Shanlin were about to leave, Terumi Mei took the shot. Bang. 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 One move, the lava-style dissolving monster technique, directly sealed the hole, making Sasuke unable to leave in the first place. Seeing this, Chonjuro on the side respected him. Use it, this is Master Mizukage's lava style. Seeing Sasuke staring at him, Mizukage also said coldly. Thinking of 4th Hokage as a toy-ravaged Akatsuki organization, I would like to see your abilities. Clatter, after landing, his eyes also knew a bit of Sasuke's identity. I took a closer look and discovered that they belonged to the Uchiha clan. As described in the information, it's really a handsome guy. Hey, it's a shame to be so handsome. Seeing that Mizukage and Mifune are trying to prevent him from leaving, Sasuke also reveals Mangekyo Sharingan. Don't get in the way, don't worry, I will at least give you a kiss that will melt your whole body. During the words, Terumi Mei also touched her red lips with her hand, very teasing. Seeing that Terumi Mei was about to make a move, Chonjuro on the side had already realized his consciousness. Master Mizukage wants to defeat that guy. I must protect Master Mizukage. Advertisement, but it may be one of those people who don't kill Mr. again. Can I really protect Master Mizukage in his hands? For flowers, no, I can definitely do it. Tsuchikage snorted coldly, and directly used the light and heavy rock technique, and his guard Akato stood upside down on the ceiling like Sasuke before watching the play. When the voice fell, Mizukage did not deliberately, the fat gang swelled up, and it was obvious that she was about to use her blood inheritance boundary again. This trick again, however, in the face of Mizukage's strong bloodline boundary, Sasuke didn't want to hide in the slightest. He stood there and was submerged by the corrosive liquid. Chonjuro, it's your turn. Clatter. After receiving the order, Chonjuro didn't have any nonsense, and he directly liberated the double sword solution place, which caused the original blade to be expanded several times. Shanlin was also shocked when she saw this. It was obvious that the corrosive liquid flowing on the wall just touched her a lot. With the sound of a slight footstep, Master Mizukage moved, and he did not forget to say a word to Onoki while he was moving. Thank you for reading this story at fictionzone.net. Your support enables us to keep the site running. After thousands of thoughts flashed in his mind, Chonjuro also took out the double sword flounder behind him. Then he swung his knife down in the air and slashed towards Sasuke's submerged land. Master Tsuchikage, if you don't participate in the war, run away. Upon seeing this, Mizukage's lava-style dissolving monster technique was also used again. Husband. After doing all this, Mizukage said to the back of Chonjuro. Chapter 754. Susanoo melted by mist. Boom. With the powerful slash of the double sword flounder, the area originally covered by lava-style suddenly sputtered and opened. The powerful melting made the surrounding sound constantly sizzling, accompanied by Baikugan's tumbling and transpiration. Although Sasuke is in it, Aroma Phosphorus is not very worried at the moment. Because Sasuke was able to block Raikage's attack before, and even the combined blow of the 4 Gaara failed to hurt him at all, not to mention that the 397 is now in this attack. The corpse at the center of her attention at the moment was White Zetsu, whose neck was previously twisted by Raikage. Has this guy been killed? Although his chakra stopped flowing, how come I feel a little strange? At the same time, the solution slipped and the smoke dispersed, and the covered area was exposed to the air again. At this moment, Sasuke is still standing in it, but his condition is not very good at this moment. Because of his continuous use of Susanoo, his eyes have been overloaded. Damn it. The cells in the whole body are so painful. Is this the risk of using Susanoo? I didn't expect this to happen for a long time. Advertisement. I don't know that Shiyu has no solution to this problem, so I have to find time to ask questions next time. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to become a complete body at all, and I can't even do it at the level of Itachi. Susanoo's complete body, Sasuke, had been seen before, and that was when Toki was beheading Orochimaru. And his current stage is not as good as the original Itachi. After Sasuke was forced into a space, Mizukage directly used lava-style technique to block the entrance. After doing all this, Mizukage said, in this way, we can be alone. This sounds very ambiguous, but in fact Terumi Mei has no good intentions. It's not unreasonable to say that beautiful women are dating deceptively. Hearing that, Sasuke turned his head and looked at the wall behind him. Raikage blasted a hole in the wall, but he found that it was also blocked. Don't look at it, the wall behind you was blocked when I first attacked. Now this place has become lost, you have no way to escape. I can use the 3 types of chakra, fire, water, and earth, so I can use 2 types of blood to follow the boundary. It's not right, what's wrong? Terumi Mei wondered. Advertisement. According to your statement, you said that you can use the 3 types of chakra, water, fire, and earth. Then you should use 3 types of blood to follow the boundary, not 2. Duh. I'm in such a predicament, and dare to tease me. I think you can't wait to die. When the voice fell, Terumi Mei displayed the second blood succession boundary. Boil-style skillful fog technique. With the sound of a drink in Terumi Mei's heart, she exhaled a smoke like gas. Upon seeing this, Sasuke immediately used Sasuke to be able to care. He had seen the power of Terumi Mei lava style before, but now that the latter has used the second type of blood succession, he naturally dare not underestimate the enemy. 3.4 However, when the mist created in boil style hit Susanoo, the bones in the first stage began to melt. Seeing this scene, Sasuke was also dumbfounded. He knew that he still underestimated the beautiful woman in front of him. No way. Sasuke can only urge Susanoo to the second stage, allowing Susanoo's defense to rise another step. Chapter 755 Spore Technique, White Zetsu is resurrected. After Sasuke continuously used the sequel Nengu, his spirit was traumatized again. Because of this, his chakra became weak. This point was sensed by the fragrant phosphorus trapped in the Wying conference room. Oops. Sasuke's chakra is getting weaker. It's Susanoo's power again. Now he is still too reluctant to use it continuously. At the same time, when Terumi Mei saw Susanoo's second form, he looked startled and said immediately, "The Mangekyo Sharingan in transmission is really extraordinary. But your condition is very bad. It seems that it was caused when you played against Raikage. I'm sorry, I didn't intend to spare your life. Although it hurts me every time that Ka sees a handsome guy being dissolved in this way, I still want you to die. That is bullying and killing you under unfair circumstances. No way. Who told you to be a member of the Akatsuki organization?" However, at this critical moment, a white spore suddenly appeared on Terumi Mei's body. 2, 3. This scene surprised both Sasuke and Terumi Mei, because Sasuke had seen this scene. Advertisement. It was the scene when White Zetsu separated from Black Zetsu. This is that amazing guy. And because Terumi Mei had seen White Zetsu before, he immediately recognized the latter's identity. This is not from the Akatsuki organization just now. After White Zetsu was reborn on Terumi Mei, he sneered. Unexpectedly, I didn't find spore technique. I didn't expect Wu Ying to be so stupid. The spore technique, different from ordinary clones, will not disappear even if the body dies. The spores cannot be noticed before they grow. When activated, the spores transform into white zetsu like swellings to wrap the possessed person, absorb the possessed person's chakra, and transfer the chakra to other people. If this method does not have the master's special method, it is very easy to find. At this moment, Terumi Mei also has insight into one thing, that is, White Zetsu is rebirthed with her chakra. Damn it, even put my chakra. Between the words, Terumi Mei directly used the melding technique, trying to wipe out the White Zetsu attached to her body. Perceiving this, White Zetsu directly differentiated his body, and then flew directly to Sasuke. Sasuke originally wanted to dodge, but now he is in a very bad state. Although he dodges, he is still touched by White Zetsu. What is damn it? Advertisement. Sasuke murmured very uncomfortably. Just when he wanted to find a way to remove White Zetsu from his body, he was shocked to find that his spirit had become sacred again. Chakra recovered. Sasuke was so surprised that he didn't expect White Zetsu to give him the chakra he had snatched from Terumi Mei. And Terumi Mei, who had captured a large amount of chakra, fell into the void at this moment. Sasuke sensed this and immediately urged Susanoo to throw a punch, directly punching a big hole in the 397 blocked spaces. Boom! At that moment, a loud noise shook the sky, countless rubble splashed away, and the originally good Five Shadows meeting room suddenly became a scene of broken walls. Seeing Sasuke emerge from the hole, Shanlin also shouted. "Sasuke, are you okay? It doesn't get in the way." During the conversation between Sasuke and Shanlin, Mifune, Tsuchikage and others were also eager to try, and wanted to join the battle. It seems that Mizukage is in a tough fight. The Uchiha kid can escape here from Raikage and the others. It shows that he does have some abilities. Akatu, it's time for us to join the war. The other person who is unhappy at the moment is Tsuchikage Onoki.